football on Nash Icon 106.1 FM and on the World Wide Web at NashFM1061.com. Cavalier football is presented by Salle High School, the Christian Brothers School on the Avenue since 1949. Visit us online at DelSalNola.com to find out more about the right fit, the perfect fit for boys and girls in the metropolitan area at 5300 St. Charles Avenue. Now let's head live to the stadium for the call of the game with Cumulus New Orleans Sports Director and De La Salle Athletic Hall of Fame honoree Ken Trahan of CrescentCitySports.com and former Cavalier Jonah Keller, class of 1998.
From historic Chad Gormley Stadium in City Park, it's De La Salle Cavaliers football. This evening, the Cavaliers take on the Purple Knights of St. Augustine High School. And a pleasant good evening to you, Ken Trahan, joined by former Cavalier Jonah Keller. This part of a simulcast between Nash Icon 106.1 FM and CrescentCitySports.com. We salute Rudy Dixon, producing in studio for radio tonight, and Chip and Matt Merritt taking care of business on the web here tonight on Crescent City Sports. Well, the rivalry is renewed here between two former Catholic League rivals that used to see each other on a regular basis for many years. Once St. Augustine was admitted into the LHSAA and into the Catholic League back in the late 1960s, De La Salle was already there, and these two schools started playing on an annual basis. That stopped in recent years because of the difference in classifications, but here they are playing again. And Jonah, great to have you with us as always, and it's great to see these two fine institutions getting together once again.
It is. A lot of great memories with these two schools playing each other. I played in the late 90s, so, there was a lot of back and forth with these games. I think we won when I was a senior and lost to them when I was a junior, but, those were great battles, and I'm glad to see that they're still playing these games. And, you look at the way that these seasons have gone, this is definitely not the way that they would have liked. De La Salle is coming off of a win, a district win against Riverdale last Thursday. They got some time off. They got some guys healthy again. And then, St. Aug has had a rough go. They've lost some, I think they've lost 6 in a row in a very tough Catholic league. But they've been in all their games. In fact, you could argue that they had chances to win against an undefeated Carr team earlier this season. So, despite their record, it's a very good football team. De La Salle will have their hands full tonight. And nothing to take away from De La Salle. They've had a really tough schedule. I don't think that their record indicates how good they've been, but it's going to be a good ball game tonight.
Yeah, the only game they really were beaten soundly in was against Holy Cross, a common opponent of these two schools, 55-30. Holy Cross defeated St. Augustine. Of course, the Cavaliers played Holy Cross, lost 49-27. Very similar dynamic there. These two schools played most recently in 2017 and in 2018 and split those two affairs. In 2017, the Cavaliers won 38-12 en route to going to the state championship game. In 2018, the Purple Knights returned the favor, beating the Cavaliers 38-20. As mentioned, St. Augustine 2-6 on the year, 0-5 in District 9 5A. Losers of their last 6 games under Nick Foster in his third year with a record of 13-16. He was the running backs coach for Carr for 5 years, part of 4 state championship teams. He played at Carr for 5 years under Don Wadney, the legendary coach, and under Jabbar Jalouk. Graduated from UAB in 2011, started coaching at Miller McCoy in 2018, and then coached the St. Augustine after Tony Villegas left in 2002, and 12 head coaches now in school history for the Purple Knights. So that's where you're looking at from the Purple Knights perspective. Cavaliers, of course, under the direction of Graham Jarrett in his third year, 18-11 overall. Of course, Graham most recently at Archbishop Rummel. Prior to that at Jesuit, spent time at Brother Martin as well. And the Cavaliers 3-5 overall, but 2-0 in District 9 4A. Interesting game to play this late in the season, but this is your basic game that you looked at before the season, Jonah, and you thought, hey, this is a great PowerPoints game to schedule. Well, it hasn't worked out that way for either side in retrospect.
No, and in fact, De La Salle, I think, has more to gain, obviously, tonight with the PowerPoint situation. I think they fall around 14. St. Aug's around 16, I believe, or 14. They're around the same. So De La Salle can pick up more points if they could win this game. They get points for just playing the game, and that's why you schedule it. But, you look at the way that the season's going for De La Salle, and they've really hurt themselves in a lot of their games. In fact, if you go back to Holy Cross, they were within 8 points, and it was a one-possession game, and then they gave that game away kind of at the end, and it looked a little worse than the score indicated. But you go to St. Paul's, you snap a ball over the head, you give St. Paul's a touchdown there, and you had your hands full at St. Charles, which everybody else has. They're undefeated. East Ascension just beat them up. No way around it. They were just more physical and bigger up front. You had a good win against Kenner Discovery, and then a game that we talked about, Ken, earlier in the season was Newman, and Newman's undefeated, and you went to Newman and you had a 10-point lead there in the third quarter, so you were playing well in that game and you had chances to win that game, and then credit Newman for coming back and winning. So it's been kind of a back and forth in the last couple of weeks where that was a devastating loss, and then you bounce back and you beat Riverdale in a district game. But tonight, it feels kind of like the old days a bit, but this doesn't have anything to do with anybody's district implications. In fact, we already know both of these teams are going to go to the postseason. This is more or less a game of who wins and who loses as where they fall in those PowerPoint ratings.
St. Augustine is not guaranteed to go to the postseason. They're 21 right now.
Okay.
24 get in, so they play De La Salle, and then they've got Brother Martin. They could possibly get in by losing both, but it will be close. If they win one, they'll get in for sure. So that's where they sit right now. How'd you like to have to play them as a very low seed? I don't think you'd want to do that.
I'm about to say, look, this game for St. Aug, it feels like, I guess, a must-win because of how well that Brother Martin's playing, but then Brother Martin stumbled last night. So, the Catholic League up and down, I know Carr it seems like they're elite, but St. Aug had them. So, I think they know that, and that's a good feeling for them, having some confidence.
Carr beat them by 11. Of course, Carr rallied late last night in the last 5 minutes from behind to beat Rummel.
That's what Carr does.
Really good football game. De La Salle currently 15th, to be perfectly accurate, in the power rankings in Select Division 2. They definitely have a shot to get as high as 12, looking at those power points. But that depends on a lot of things. First things first, they got to win the next 2 weeks, starting with the game tonight. When you look at these two teams for the Cavaliers, junior quarterback Evan Arsenault, 46 of 83, 538 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's got 21 rushes on the year as well. And Jason Banks, of course, 100 rushes, 614 yards, and 10 touchdowns, 6 catches for 57 yards. He's by far been the most effective runner for the Cavaliers. And, of course, the receivers, you've got Jace Bienemy, LeVar Fortenberry, and Ronald Cash, of course, have been primary in that regard. Defensively, Kedrick Richardson remains a tackling machine for this team, as he has 87 tackles on the year. He's returned a fumble for a touchdown, 2 fumble recoveries, 2 forced fumbles as well for the Sanford commit. For St. Augustine, offensively, I think you'll look at a change at quarterbacks. Jean Coulon started last week, and it's likely that the sophomore will start tonight with Dawson Simmons, likely playing some running back and wide receiver. Their primary running back is Keith Hill, but they'll mix it up back there. And, of course, at the receiver spot, they've got Josh Jackson, the Tulane commit, who's really good. And they got, of course, Biggie Caliste, who's 6'5", 235. He's a great athlete out of the tight end position. And defensively, their 2 defensive tackles are dynamite. Jakeem Stewart, the sophomore, maybe the best sophomore defensive lineman in the country, if not the state, and Cornell Harris, the senior on the other side, who has a whole bunch of offers as well. Those guys are dynamite, key players for these two teams. We'll take a timeout here. When we return in just a moment, we'll have our coin toss and the start of tonight's game as the Cavaliers take the field. We're back in a moment. This is De La Salle football. It's part of a simulcast on Nash Icon 106.1 FM and at CrescentCitySports.com. Along with Jonah Keller, Ken Trahan here from Jack Gormley Stadium as our national anthem taking place with the De La Salle Band. And as that takes place in the background, let's tell you about what's happening here tonight with regard to this game. Again, we told you about the records, where these two schools are. Give you some perspective. De La Salle, of course, hasn't won a state title. Been there, though, done that in recent years on 2017 season, 2019 and 2020. And, of course, St. Augustine, 3 state championship teams in the 1970s, winning it in 1975, 1978, 1979. Ironically, they've not been back to a title game since then, which is remarkable considering the kind of program that they have. Interestingly enough, when you look at comparative numbers, St. Aug averages 26.5. Offensively in that regard. The Purple Knights allow 22.7 points a game, and the Cavaliers, when you look at what they've been able to do defensively, are in the same basket there, 25.3 a game. De La Salle -2 turnover margin. They've committed 12, forced 10, not the number you want overall. Captains are meeting at the center of the field. St. Aug wearing their road whites with purple numerals, gray pants, yellow gold helmets. De La Salle, I'm going to let Jonah describe the Cavaliers' uniforms just to be kind.
Okay, so Ken, this is the Halloween uniform.
I got it.
All right, so
I got it.
It is black on black with maroon numerals outlined in white. So it is not the easiest thing in the world, especially in a night game. The numbers are not that easy to see. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, so you might need to spot body types just to figure out who's.
Especially like an 88 number, a big number like that you can't know. 62 is, those will be difficult.
It's not, unfortunately, but we'll do our lockstep best to get you the right information during the course of the game. Captains meeting at the center of the field. Coin toss about to take place. Derek Irvin, one of those captains for De La Salle, so is Jace Bienemy. And St. Augustine has won the toss. If elected to receive, De La Salle will kick off, and the Cavaliers will defend the north goal here. As Tim Maxon, another one of the captains, along with Kedrick Richardson Jr. for the Cavaliers. So the Purple Knights like to take the ball. It's interesting because these days almost everyone defers when they win the toss. Not tonight. Purple Knights want to make a statement.
No, and I guess De La Salle would rather have their defense on the field first. And this is something we're going to see a lot tonight as far as the personnel that De La Salle is going to put on the field, especially on the defensive line. They've been pretty banged up. They've got some new guys coming in throughout the season, as we see in most schools, especially in Week 9. But you got sophomores coming in, getting more playing time than they would have in the beginning of the season. So, look, put them out there early, see what they can do. Hopefully De La Salle would, get a stop early, get the confidence going. But, but St. Aug taking the football first, not surprised. I think they want to make a statement, like you just said.
So we're just about set to get it started. St. Augustine will get the ball first. They'll drop twin receivers into the deep position. And that will be 23 Landell Caston and Keith Hill dropping deep to receive for the Purple Knights. And the Cavaliers will get it teed up to kick it off here.
And this is what was
in the person of Connor Butler.
Yeah, and it's been difficult with their kicking game. It'll be interesting to see if they decide to pop it up or drive it deep. He was able to drive it deep, against Newman, but they've been popping it up, it seems like, all season. So I'll see what they'll do first off here.
Ready to roll here with De La Salle and St. Augustine from Chad Gormley Stadium. Butler will spot the ball at the 40-yard line, right hash mark. As mentioned, Cavaliers will defend the north goal. There is a little bit of a wind in this game. It will favor the Cavaliers to get things started here tonight. We'll get you the weather update here shortly. Here we go. Butler approaches it. He hits it high and very short. No fair catch called for. Taken at the 30 and tackled immediately. That's one of those where you want to make the fair catch. They didn't do it. And
he was tackled.
Hill got it, and he got tackled right away. Temperature 78 degrees at game time. Humidity 72%. Winds out of the north at 7, so it will be in De La Salle's favor. But it's really calmed down a bit since earlier when it was blowing pretty good.
And it's a full moon.
It is a full moon tonight, and Halloween's approaching, whatever that means. St. Aug ball at the 30-yard line to get it started, and we'll see. We expect Coulon to be the quarterback as he was last week, and he is. Hill will be in the backfield with him. They'll have twin receivers to the left and a single to the right. Wide side of the field, left side of the field, Cavaliers in a 4-man front. Coulon takes the snap, gives to Hill running right, bounces off a 1, cuts it up nicely and picks up 5. Hill to the 35-yard line. So he picked up 5, initially ran into a couple of people, bounced off and moved forward. Jason Banks on the stop.
Yeah, he did a good job right there, bouncing off a couple of would-be tacklers, didn't have much going to the right side, switched his momentum to the left, and ended up picking up with some nice yards there on first down.
St. Aug likes to go fast. It's what they do. 2nd down and 5. No huddle frequently. Coulon shotgun again, as he will be throughout. Gives to Hill inside. Hill's going to be hit and stopped. After about a yard gain, he stood up and driven straight back. First man there was Troy Williams.
Yeah, that was a nice play by Troy Williams. He did a good job of coming in. I want to say he's in the safety position. He just kind of creeps up and fills the gap. But, not changing personnel here. St. Aug going quick on 3rd down.
Yeah, they do not huddle. 3rd down and 4 from the 36-yard line. Opening possession of the game. Again, a single receiver left, twins right. Coulon shotgun, takes the snap, fakes to Hill, wants to throw. He does down the middle, almost intercepted. Boy, it hit the shoulder pads of the defender, and he just couldn't quite pull it in. That was Montez Randall.
Montez Randall, I mean, I think he was running before he caught it. I mean, that ball was thrown right to him. He kind of fell as he was going down to catch it, but you still got to come up with it. Nonetheless, look, that's what you want to do if you're De La Salle. Get St. Aug 3 and out right there to get the ball to your offense quick.
Excellent start. Cavaliers will drop Jason Banks back to receive the punt from St. Augustine. Punter for St. Aug is Miguel Whitley. Takes the snap, boots it away. Wobbly spiral, going to bounce at the 35, 30, 25, 20. Tremendous punt as it turns out. Down to the De La Salle 15-yard line.
Yeah.
That is a really effective punt. 49 yards, no return.
I think, when you watch film, special teams film, you probably know the ability of the punter. And for Jason Banks right there, you got to make that adjustment going forward, because if you come up and catch that ball, you're probably getting it at about the 30-yard line. Instead, that ball bounced 20 yards for De La Salle to take it 1st and 10 from the 15 now instead of about the 30.
Cavaliers take to the field with Evan Arsenault, the quarterback. Expect the backfield to feature Jason Banks, which it does. They'll open with a receiver to either side, 2 up backs, slotted left. St. Aug in a 50 front, make it a 60 front. They're pressing the line of scrimmage in a big way. Run it with Banks. He's going to be hit for loss. Guess who? Jakeem Stewart. He is a monster, and he's in the backfield already. I've seen him 3 times this year. He's lived in the backfield. He's unblockable.
Yeah, he's listed at 6'6", and he looks all of it in that uniform too. And, for a sophomore, 15, 16 years old, he already looks the part, a man amongst boys. But he's going to be there all night, being disruptive, living in the backfield. So De La Salle will have to put an extra man on him if they can.
They're going to be pressing the line of scrimmage throughout the course of the night, will the Purple Knights. Loss of 2, 2nd down, and 12 yards to go from the 13. Arsenault calls for the football, fakes it, wants to throw a quick one in the flat, and it's caught, but it's going to be blown up and stopped cold. That'll be no gain, if not a loss of a yard, as the pass was complete. I got to check the number. That's Kobe Pounds.
Yeah, and that's Seth St. Martin for St. Aug right there, coming up, making a nice open field tackle. He was able to shed the block by the wide receiver for De La Salle. I think that was Jace Bienemy trying to set the edge there, but credit the safety for coming up, shedding the block, making a nice tackle.
No gain on the play. It's 3rd down and 12. From the 13-yard line, this time an open formation. Twin receivers to either side. Arsenault the snap. Arsenault, quick throw in the flat, caught. This will be a loss. Back to the 10-yard line. Purple Knights smother the Cavaliers in the opening possession. Yeah, Harris on the stop. Boy, he's some player. Pass was caught by Banks, and he lost a couple.
Yeah, so you go, run, pass, even though both passes were more screened than they were throwing the ball downfield. But look, you're just trying to, gain positive yardage, and instead you went back, and that's not what you want to do on your opening drive, especially having your punter now punt from the end zone to give St. Aug the ball back with really good field position.
And the snaps have been an issue. It was a loss of 4 on the play. Single receiver deep to receive the punt for St. Augustine. That is Fred Lewis. Punter stands about 7 yards deep in the end zone. Good pass from center. Punt is away. Fair catch called for and bounces at the 40. It kind of goes sideways, though. Takes a St. Aug bounce, and it'll be killed at about the De La Salle 39-yard line, a 30-yard punt. No return, and the Purple Knights get great field position at the Cavalier 39 with 8:29 to play in the first quarter. No score.
Yeah, and I mean, for right there, if you're St. Aug, you know you're going to get field position. You want to get away from that ball, and if you're the return guy, you got a little too close, if you ask me. I mean, just get away from that. If you have no intention of fielding it, you can get... You got to get out of dodge, and he stayed a little too close for it. If that ball touched him, it's live.
Purple Knights with a short field. Rulon, the quarterback, will have Hill in the backfield with him. They'll split 2 receivers to the right, a single receiver to the left. Rulon, the snap, gives to Hill running left. He's hit and stopped for no gain. Excellent job up front. The penetration was outstanding for the Cavaliers, and making the stop was Jaden Ellie with good penetration there by Irvin as well.
Yeah, and Jaden Ellie's been hurt a lot this season. It's good to see him healthy tonight, and that's Derek Irvin coming up from the safety position too. And St. Aug is going to actually, this is the first time I've seen them run a personnel change out.
2nd and 11 from the 40 after a loss of 1. They go with a trip set right, single receiver right, and they're going to run the option play right. Cooping Coulon, he's going to slide down. Coulon across the 35 to the 34. Looked like he could have gotten more, but he slid down maybe a little bit prematurely.
I think if he bounces it to the outside, you're right, Ken. I think he could have picked up a few more yards there. Jackson Purdue, the defensive lineman, was running him down, but he had him beaten for a nice game. But like you said, he could have had some more.
Gave it up instead, and it's 3rd down and 6 at the 34-yard line, or make it 3rd and 5 from the 34 after the gain of 6. Snap it, wants to throw a quick one. He does. It's caught. First down across the 30 to about the 26-yard line. Quick pass. The pop pass works well to LeJean Moore, and a gain of 8 and a first down.
Yeah, and he's brought down there by Troy Williams. Troy Williams has kind of played a little offense, a little defense in different spots, but he's primarily going to be playing linebacker. He made an open field tackle there, but a good pass and catch. That's over his head.
That ball is rolling and is going to be down way back at the 45. That'll be a loss way back of about 19 yards on the muff. Bad snap from center.
Ken, when you run these quick type of offensive plays like that, the center's almost moving too fast and he doesn't have a time to get set, you're going to get that every once in a while. I think it's just a case of the center not really being ready. Maybe his hand's a little slippery and it sailed on him. But that might have been the quickest snap they've had all night, and now they're going to take a few seconds to kind of calm down after that big loss.
Loss of 19 to the 45-yard line. 2nd and 29. Snap it, going to run the option. He cuts it upfield. Coulon to the 40. Now he pitches it, and a good job on the option to Hill, who gets to the 34-yard line as he picks up 11 yards.
Yeah, dangerous option toss there, but he did a really good job. And here they go, hurry up to the line again, and it's 2nd and long after that nice pickup.
A 3rd and long.
3rd and long, yeah.
From the 34. They need 3rd and 18 from the 34. 4-down territory for the Purple Knights, unquestionably. Under 6 minutes to play in the first quarter. No hydration break here. Twin receivers to either side. Hill, the running back. 3-man defensive front. Low snap. Picked up. Has a lot of time. Throws across his body, incomplete. Threw it behind Moore, the intended receiver, at about the 33-yard line. And now a 4th and 16 coming up, and I'm sure they'll go for it here.
Yeah, and De La Salle dropped 6 right there and rushed 4 and kind of had like a linebacker, Troy Williams, playing. And they're going to send out, which probably I would guess is the punting unit.
I would guess.
Yeah, they're not kicking a field goal, but that's a good break for De La Salle. The snap over his head really is what was the drive killer there. So, but now St. Aug has a chance to pin him. Really.
And if you're De La Salle, do you even drop anybody back? They're going
to put Montez Randall back there. No, I'm sorry, that's Derek Irvin.
It's Derek Irvin. Yeah. I'm not sure you want to feel this at all. Let it bounce. Here's the punt, very high. This is an effective punt. It's going to bounce inside the 10 and out of bounds right around the 10. So that's a good punt. Yep. And it gained them the necessary field position that they wanted to extract there and put De La Salle deep with 5:33 to play. In the first quarter, Cavaliers get it back for the second time at their own 9-yard line. No score in this one. As we continue on, we thank everyone for helping make this possible tonight. And the coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by the Lamarck Motor Company in Kenner. Lamarck is a brand new location at 6121 Jefferson Highway in Harahan. Lamarck Crescent Ford Trucks. We can't wait to see you there at Crescent City Ford Trucks. From the 9-yard line on first down. Cavaliers operate, try to run it inside. This will be another big loss. Back inside the 5, back of the 2, just getting dominated up front. Stewart in the backfield again, and just no chance to go anywhere.
No, and
on that run.
You got to be real careful here if you're De La Salle. You're backed up inside your own 5-yard line, shadow of your goalpost, and if you got to be careful. You got to know where 90 is at all times, obviously, but you don't want to give up a safety here.
Yeah, loss of 6 for Banks at second down, and 16 yards to go from the 3. Motion across the formation, movement up front will cost De La Salle more yards.
Yeah,
so now they're going to end up at the 1.5-yard line here.
Yeah, tight end jumped on that play, and they're sending it looks like they're sending a wide receiver in motion, and you just didn't hear the play call. By the way, St. Aug's band playing on defense.
Of course.
So that's
what they do.
To hear, and even if De La Salle goes with that silent snap count, but it's just a clap of the hand. So whether you hear it or not, it cost them there.
And it's legal. They can do it.
Absolutely.
They do it all the time. Second down from the 1-yard line, and 18 yards to go. Going to run it inside, break the line of scrimmage. Shook a tackle, and getting out to the 7 is Banks. Before he's tackled, gets him a little bit of operating room. Fred Lewis on the tackle.
Yeah, and look, that's the first hole of the night. So they ran right side. Looks like they went right over the right tackle, kind of in that C gap, and they were able to pick up positive yards, but only back to the original line of scrimmage. Actually, I didn't back to the so no. You're looking at still 3rd and long, a passing play here, but again, you still got to be really careful if you're Arsenault, to not throw an interception here.
And it's 7. It's 3rd down and 11 yards to go from the 8. Arsenault the snap. Arsenault under pressure, flag down, throws a screen, caught in the middle, shook one tackle, and can't shake the second tackle at the 10. So if it stands, it'll be a punting situation. The pass complete to Banks for just 2 yards.
And if it's on De La Salle, I'm sure St. Aug's going to decline.
Sure, yeah, they appear to be holding.
Or ineligible downfield. It was a screen. Not sure.
Waiting for an official signal here, which we haven't seen. They're still talking about it. Would be a 2-yard gain and a 4th down.
Yeah, I think somebody was moving.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it'll be a 2-yard gain, and it's 4th down and 9 in a punting situation once more.
Yeah, and look, I mean, your two offensive drives have yielded negative yards, and that's not at all a positive sign. However, you did have a hole there on the 3rd down run or the 2nd down run. So, but passing hasn't been effective either. So you got to look for something on the next drive, next opportunity.
Punting situation, punt is away. Beautiful spiral, fielded. 50, sideline of the 45, and out of bounds near the De La Salle 40. With a solid return is Frederick Lewis. Purple Knights will start on the plus side of the field for the 2nd straight possession.
Yeah.
With 3:26 to play in the first quarter with no score.
Really nice punt right there for De La Salle. I mean, he kicked it from the end zone. I think he caught it around the 50, so he hit it in the air about 50 yards, give him credit. And then, but this is a game of field position so far, and St. Aug's definitely won that battle. I mean, they started from the 30, inside the 50, and now the 40. So, De La Salle has, I think, both times they've touched the ball, they've been inside their own 10. So, but look, nobody's scored any points yet, but still, it's if you're flipping fields, it's St. Aug's at the advantage.
From the De La Salle 40, Coulon will operate with a single setback. Next to him is Hill. Twin receivers, a trip set right, actually, and a single receiver left. Low snap, fields it, looking, steps up, could run. He will to the left, and he's going to be hit and dropped right at the line of scrimmage. Good pursuit and a good play made by Irvin.
Yeah, we've called his name quite a few times already tonight. He's come up from that safety position and just really closed in well on the quarterback for St. Aug, who right there, he's looking downfield to make a pass, but Irvin wouldn't bite on it and had a nice open field tackle on the sideline.
Just sacked for no yards, 2nd and 10 from the De La Salle 40. Quick snap. Going to run it inside right, and there's nothing there. maybe a yard, and then a whole bunch of black shirts driving back hill who got forward for a yard to the 39. That's all. It's 39.
Yeah, and that's Hull for De La Salle. He's actually come in and filled up some positions that's in a need spot where, the De La Salle's lost some players due to injuries, and they've had to, put some guys in different positions, but that's just a nice open field tackle right there, too.
39 at the Cavalier 39, under 2:30 to play in the first quarter with no score. Coulon shotgun. Again, trip set right, single left. Takes the snap. Pressure on. Steps up. Throwing deep down the sideline. Has a man. It is incomplete. The receiver streaking down the sideline. Throw was good, but Whitley couldn't handle it at about the 15.
Yeah, and I think if he throws that ball just a touch more to the inside, that's 7 or that's 6 points, because he had a step on his man for sure. He just dropped it in the bucket, but it was a little bit too far to the outside. But he had a step, and it was a good pass, maybe just not perfectly placed where he could have gotten to it.
And Whitley, of course, who just couldn't quite haul that in, running a streak, now is the punter, and he'll stand at about his own 45 to boot this one away.
And if you're Banks, if you can catch this ball in the air, you've got to do your best to do that.
That's Irvin back there to receive, looks like. Here's the punt. It's going to be a nice spiral. Another effective punt. Will bounce inside the 5. Oh, he picked it up at the 1, running to the 5, 10, 15, 20. I mean, that ball was going in the end zone, but he decided he was going to pick it up at the 1-yard line.
And that could have been a safety. I mean, I think he picked it up to the 1 and actually retreated inside of the end zone, and he had a man on him. But, that was a huge pickup right there to get out of it. But I promise you, in film review tomorrow, they're going to tell him, never, ever do that again.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, fielded it at the 1 off the ground.
I mean, he's getting it now. They're telling him as he goes to the sideline. But look, hey, good, great job, but don't do that again.
I'm not sure they told him great job either, but I get it.
Right.
1st and 10 from the 19, 2 minutes to play in the first quarter with no score. Wide side, right side of the field. And whistles before the snap again. Sideline warning.
They're going to...
On St. Aug.
Must be talking about the head coach, because everybody else is...
Yeah, I mean, everybody else looks behind the white line to me. Nick Foster getting an explanation.
Yeah.
It's just a warning. So here we go, 1st and 10 at the 19. They need a positive play on first down. Haven't had it yet. Snap it, speed sweep coming, cut back, and short yardage to about the 21. 2 yards on the carry by Jace Bieniemy.
Yeah, and they're just trying to get Bieniemy out in space right there and see if he can get to the edge and cut it up. And, that's, like you said, Ken, they haven't had a whole lot of success at all tonight. But if you're going to sustain any kind of drive or momentum, you got to get it on first down. They did get a couple, but not nearly enough to move the sticks. So they bring up a second down.
2nd and 8 at the 21. 3 receivers left, wide side, right side. Snap it, going to give it off inside, and smashed immediately is Banks. And there's that man again, Jakeem Stewart. What a player.
Yeah, and he's big and he's fast and he's strong, and right there, I think that, if he's moved in kind of that nose position, or he's off, a bit, he's just in that A gap, and they can't do anything with him. And I think he's either swim move or he's spinning, but he's fast, and he's in the backfield before you can, barely hand the football off. So De La Salle's going to have their hands full with him all night.
He's got offers from everyone, and he's a sophomore, and what a future he has. 3rd down and 8 at the 21. Pass rush will be big here. Snap it, play fake it, rush on, throwing down the middle, has a man caught. 35, 40, across the 40, fighting forward to the 43. Bieniemy fumbled the football.
They're going to say he was down?
I think he was down, or was he? The ball is returned to the 32-yard line. He was not down, and it's picked up for St. Augustine and returned by Joaquin Washington, but they're going to say it was Bieniemy, right?
It was Bieniemy, yeah, and I don't see any beanbags either.
I don't either.
So I think they're going to call him down. In fact, I thought I heard a whistle.
Yeah.
And offense for De La Salle stays on the field. So when Bieniemy caught that ball, I think he was expecting to get hit, and he turned around almost like, the defender wasn't there, so he immediately turned around and started to go upfield again. But, Arsenal had a few, seconds there to set his feet and throw the ball downfield, and I think Bieniemy just found a nice soft spot in the zone to make a catch. And they're talking about it, but I think it's just a matter of where they're going to spot it.
Yeah, I think it was a 43 from what I saw, which is where they're at now, but they're going to move it forward. are they going to penalize St. Augustine?
I never saw a flag, Ken.
It's 15 yards, whatever it is.
I don't know if they're going to say that was in the act of when they were trying to jar the ball loose. Maybe there was a punch thrown to get the ball out. I don't know, because I never saw a flag, but it might have been on the sideline and we didn't see it. But nonetheless, like you said, that's a 15-yard penalty tacked on to already a nice gain. So De La Salle finds themselves for the first time in St. Aug territory.
At the 42-yard line. Back-to-back first downs, 37 yards net as a result of that last snap. And this will probably be the end of the first quarter. Let's see. They do have to run a play.
Yeah.
They're going to have to run a play. There's a 1-second difference. First down and 10 at the St. Aug 42. This will be the final play of the quarter. But we have a whistle-stopping play here.
Pick it up. So the flag happened way on the other side. So it was a line of scrimmage. So it might have just been pushing and shoving at the line of scrimmage.
A personal foul. Was roughing the passer. And a lot of things there. But it was a personal foul on St. Aug. We know that.
That restarts the game clock.
And that'll run the quarter out because the play clock is already reset.
Right.
So that will be the end of the first quarter with our scores. St. Augustine nothing, De La Salle nothing. Back in a moment with Cavalier football on Shotgun 106.1 FM and at CrescentCitySports.com. Begins, no score from Ted Gormley Stadium. Ken Trahan, Jonah Keller. Cavaliers had the ball first and 10 at the St. Augustine 42-yard line. Arsenault will put a man in motion. Pounds drops to throw. He's going to throw a middle screen. Caught. Shook one tackle. Fighting forward to the 40. Getting a push to the 39. To the 38. To the 37. And a nice effort there. Will get 4 yards out of basically nothing on what was a middle screen to LeVar Fortenberry.
Yeah, and they're going to have to try to do those type of things where they basically empty the backfield. They go 5 wide. Fortenberry just runs a nice little inside slant right there, and he's able to connect to it. But, you know, you got like the rugby scrum there for about 10 seconds where this was really a stalemate, but nonetheless, De La Salle does pick it up positive yards on first down. 2nd and 6
at the St. Aug 38. Slot the up back left, and now they're going to run it right on a counter. Flags. And a flag down immediately. And maybe a yard. We'll see. It came from the side.
I think somebody moved on it might have been a wide receiver on the De La Salle top of the screen for us. It's going to be illegal motion on De La Salle.
It was Pounds on the carry, but it's going to be negated anyway by a 5-yard penalty against the Cavaliers, the second of the game against De La Salle for 7 yards.
Yeah, and you're just a little jumpy right there. And as a wide receiver, you're looking down the line right there, and you can't move until that ball's snapped. And, you know, the last thing you want to do is give up any yards to this St. Aug defense that, you know, you've had success on this drive, but, you know, pre-snap penalties and holding calls, things like that drive killers, it's not something you can, you know, work through at this point. And you almost feel like, you know, you haven't had a whole lot of success running the football that, you know, even though it's second and somewhat manageable, you're probably going to be throwing it here.
2nd and 11 from the 43 of St. Aug. Early second quarter, no score. Arsenault in shotgun. Purple Knights showing blitz. Look like they're coming. They are. They're going to run it inside and beat the line of scrimmage. 40, 35, run over a tackler. Barrel forward to the 30. Fight inside the 30. First down, Cavaliers to about the 29-yard line. Perfect play call. Good hard run. And that was Banks, and the Cavaliers moved the chains.
Yeah.
Gain of 14.
And Ken, they brought it again. And like you just said, pre-snap, they're creeping up the safeties, and they're basically leaving their cornerbacks on an island, so they're selling out against the run. And credit De La Salle's offensive line right there for creating a hole for Pounds to get through and pick up, positive yards for a first down.
That was Banks, huh?
That was Banks. The numbers, Ken.
It's almost impossible. I'm sorry, but we're just. That's why I've got binoculars. Okay, that's all we can do here. First and 10 at the 29. On the snap, give to Banks. He's hitting the backfield. He'll be stopped for a loss.
Wow.
You're going to have a lot of negative plays, and there's Stewart again, and there's his running mate, Cornell Harris, those two big guys.
They come off the edge so fast. I mean, when you're shotgun and you're staring down the quarterback and you're just, he claps his hands, the ball's snapped, and they go. I mean, this might be the fastest defensive line I think I've seen in person this season because the way that they can get off the ball is unmatched.
If you break the line of scrimmage, you can make big yards, but it's hard to do. But it's hard to do.
Yeah.
Second and 12 at the 31. Snap it, fake it, throw it to the outside. That's caught by Pounds at the 30, 25. He's at the 20. He's inside the 20 and out of bounds at about the 18-yard line. Should have a first down. That's a gain of 13. Kobe Pounds.
Yeah, that's a first down. So Kobe Pounds right there. They've got him in motion. They send him on the slot to the outside. He's able to he's got plenty of room after the catch. It looks like St. Aug might be calling a timeout. So if you're De La Salle, you're finding ways to move the ball effectively, run and pass, even though at times it feels like you're getting stuffed or even losing yardage. But I think for De La Salle, the thought here is, if you can get somehow another maybe 5 or 10 yards, you can get 3 out of this drive. And the way your defense has been playing, that seems like it would be in the perfect position for you. But you'd love to get 6 if you can. And I like the way that they've mixed things up with guys in motion, jet sweeps, runs up the middle, dump passes, screens. So they're trying a little bit of everything against this St. Aug defense.
Rebel Knights took their first time out. We'll have 2 remaining. 9:17 to play in the half. And no score, but the Cavaliers with a real opportunity here. Tonight's coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by Rhino Shield Mid-South. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Rhino Shield resists chipping, cracking, flaking, or peeling, and is backed by a 25-year warranty. Get your free estimate. Visit rhinoshieldmidsouth.com or call 833-233-7181. First and 10 at the Rebel Knight 18. First red zone penetration of the game by either team. Snap it, looks to throw. Little flare pass onto the backfield. Has speed 20 to the 15. Caught from behind. Dragged down after a 4 or 5 yard gain, but still a good positive play to Banks from Arsenault. They're using their aggressiveness against them. That's what teams have done against them to be effective.
You're right, Ken, and that's Warren Roberts right there for St. Aug making the tackle. But man, if Banks can shed him, he might have been in the end zone.
I agree.
He had no help on the outside right there. In fact, but you're right. They come up on the box. They creep a safety in. They even push the linebackers in almost to a point where they're overselling too. So yeah, I mean, if De La Salle gets them creeping up, they can catch them over the top.
Banks with the catch, 5 yards. On second down, going to run Banks right for the cutback. Not there. Maybe to the 12.
Yeah, I want to see Banks bounce that ball to the sideline right there because, he's running back into the teeth of that defense, which I get it. You're a running back, you're tough, and that's what Banks is. He's a tough back, but right there, if he bounces it, I think he gets more positive yards and stretches that play out.
So here's a big play forthcoming. It's 3rd and 5 at the 13. Single setback, tight formation. Fake it, throw it, and blown up. No chance. Maybe a yard, just perfectly played. The pass caught by Pounds, but all over that was 28 Seth St. Martin.
Yeah, they've had success with that. I mean, you go back to it because you had success, but they read it out perfectly there. In fact, if Pounds is kind of lucky to hang on to that ball, if it could have been stripped for a fumble there. So De La Salle now sends out the field goal team.
This will be about a 29-yard attempt. Connor Butler, I would imagine. It is. Left hash mark. Trying to give the Cavaliers the lead. Snap is good. The spot is good. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Timeout on the field. 7:06 to play in the first half. De La Salle 3, St. Augustine nothing. Back in a moment with De La Salle football on Nash Icon 106.1 FM and CrescentCitySports.com. 49-yard field goal, 11-play, 68-yard drive, and 6:56 off the clock. Kind of drive you want against the Purple Knights to give a 3-0 lead to the Cavaliers.
It is, and this game is moving right along. 7 minutes left in the second quarter. It's 7:30. I mean, there's not a whole lot of stoppage of play, not a whole lot of penalties, not a whole lot of, obviously, injuries. So, yeah, this game's moving along pretty quick, and a lot of running plays, too.
Kickoff, another pop-up kick. Caught at the 26, Hill, 30. Fights through a tackle near the 35-yard line. That's where the Purple Knights will put it in play. Haven't done anything offensively to this point.
No, and I don't know. I kind of want to see, the kick deep. I don't know a whole lot about the return men for St. Aug. I'm sure
dangerous.
Yeah, dangerous. But right there, I mean, you're giving up quite a bit of yards, and I guess you want to live to fight another day if you're not going to kick it deep and give it to their threat, guys. But either way, look, if you're De La Salle, I mean, you're playing with the lead, and you want to see if you can get the ball back in decent field position and not get pinned.
First and 10 at the 34, 7:03 to play in the first half, 3-0 Cavaliers. Simmons is the quarterback now, so Dawson Simmons is in at quarterback for the Purple Knights. He's been the starter most of the year. Snap it, fake it, throws it down the middle, incomplete. Hit the back shoulder of the receiver, but he couldn't pull it in. Simmons threw a bullet intended for Monroe Dillon at 2nd and 10.
Good looking play. I mean, they had him open, and he threw a dart, and that kid's got a cannon for an arm, and he put it in a good spot, just dropped it.
Dawson Simmons, senior now, 5'11", 180 pounds, 2nd and 10 from the 34. Simmons with a different running back with him. Landell Caston is the running back now, as they've made some changes offensively. Snap it, wants to throw it. He does to the outside. Dangerous throw, incomplete. Yeah, and now they throw a flag late.
I was going to say he might have got away with it, but he didn't.
A little bit early, and
just a touch.
Didn't need to be.
No.
But he was, and it's going to cost the Cavaliers. Pass was intended from Monroe Dillon, and Malik Cornelius was there maybe a tad early.
Yeah, and you hate it, and you're right, Ken, because he didn't have to do that. But if you're going to jump the route, you need to come up and see if you can get a hand on the ball, not the receiver, and he just didn't do that well. But I mean, that's a 15-yard, that's a killer penalty for De La Salle right there.
Yeah, it's a little short 4-yard pass, but it's a 15-yard gain via penalty, third penalty, and 22 yards on the Cavaliers. So, first and 10 at the St. Aug 49. Simmons takes the snap, and a big hit for a loss. Caston gets blown up at the 45 as he just had gotten the handoff, and he was drilled and driven straight back on the play there. Really good play up front for the Cavaliers.
Yeah, that's number 32, Jackson Purdue, a junior, 6 foot 203. He's playing with that big brace on his arm. He broke his arm about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I think it's just a soft cast, but that's a great play right there by Purdue.
Loss of 4 for Caston, 2nd down and 14 at the 45. Simmons retreats to throw. Pump fakes, throws down the middle. That's caught. Across the 45, down to about the 43 of De La Salle. Beautiful throw and catch. And the catch made there by Lejon Moore. Really well executed.
Yeah, had some time to throw that ball downfield, and he hits him in stride and picks up a nice big positive yard right there. And you wonder if St. Aug goes hurry up here on 3rd and short.
Yeah, 13 yards is 3rd and 1 at the De La Salle 42.
And they did sub in some guys, but it doesn't look like De La Salle's going to do that. They're going to keep their same personnel on the field.
On 3rd and 1, Simmons now with Hill in the backfield. Takes the snap, gives to Hill inside. He'll get the first down to the 40, and fighting forward slightly across the 40. Keith Hill has a first down for the Purple Knights, tackled by Troy Williams.
Yeah, it's interesting here what St. Aug's doing, because they've had success throwing the football, not a whole lot running it. You almost think that they're going to probably try to throw it more on this drive as the clock ticks. We're at almost 5 minutes left to go in the half, and St. Aug moving the ball well.
At the De La Salle 40-yard line as we approach 5 minutes to play in the first half. 3-0 Cavaliers on top. Simmons in the backfield with Hill. Simmons the snap, wants to throw it. Stops, looks, throws to the outside, and again the receiver continued down the field, and the throw went to the sideline. Looked like a New Orleans Saints pass play there.
Yeah, don't jump the gun. You don't see Carr yelling at Olave,
No.
but I think right there he was trying to go back shoulder, and the receiver just never turned around. But, miscommunication is all that was, and fortunately for St. Aug, there was no De La Salle defender in the area either.
2nd down and 10 from the 40 of De La Salle. Twin receivers left, twin receivers right. Josh Jackson hasn't been targeted yet for St. Aug, a big-time receiver. Snap it, retreats to throw. Under pressure, down the middle, thrown incomplete. Wow. Pass was intended for Vashon Sims Jr. He almost caught it, and then the safety was there, and he's like, man, I could have caught that ball.
He was the slot wide receiver, and he had nobody over top of him. In fact, now De La Salle's going to get a sideline warning on them. But he was in the slot. De La Salle just didn't get a guy in position. And really, I think if he catches that ball, it's obviously a 1st down and maybe more.
Mm-hmm. So it's 3rd down and 10 yards to go from the De La Salle 40. Now the whistle sounds again.
If this is a timeout,
this is a timeout.
This is a good timeout here if you're De La Salle, because this is a big play. I think if you're St. Aug, I don't know, you might be going for it. You're getting close to the end of the half, and you've had a nice drive. But I think right here, if you're De La Salle, if you can take a deep breath, maybe come after the quarterback if they throw it and get a sack, then you're going to put them out of potentially going for it, and then you get the ball back.
So 3rd down and 10 at the Cavalier 40-yard line with 4:44 to play in the first half.
And St. Aug has all 3 of their timeouts left. So, plenty of time for them with the 3 timeouts. But if it's 3rd down and, you throw incomplete, it's 4th and long as opposed to, maybe like 4th and short if you picked up positive yards. So for De La Salle right now, this is a big play for them to get off the field if they can, especially if they can get a sack and move them back behind the line of scrimmage.
Halftime, we'll have Jonah talk about open house coming up November 7th. Also about De La Salle Hall of Fame induction coming up this week.
Well, the year goes by fast, Ken.
We're back. In fact,
November.
Yeah, boy, it happens real fast. We'll let you know about St. Aug's open house, too. We'll let you know. These schools are all good people and good schools as well. Back to pass, looking to throw. It's Coulon throwing to Simmons, a receiver this time. Simmons is hit and dropped in the backfield for a loss of a couple. So they line up Simmons and wideout. Coulon at quarterback. They've done that. It didn't work.
And that was a risky pass right there. That screen was set up. That was a long screen pass, and St. Aug is going to punt. So De La Salle does what they have to do right there by, forcing them off the field. And I'll tell you, I'm impressed with De La Salle's defense in the first half. They've been able to get after the quarterback. They've been able to stop the run. They've given up some long pass plays, but hadn't hurt them too bad.
Nobody back this time, and now they're finally going to drop a guy back. I would not, personally, I'd leave it alone. I wouldn't put anybody back there.
And they haven't shown that they're going to catch the ball.
Right. Well, and then he picked it up at the 1 last time, which was not a good move.
And look, every second counts at this point, so let it bounce for a little while. That's more time off the clock.
Yep, there's a ball bouncing inside the 10. This will work out great for St. Aug at the 3, at the 2, at the 1.
Wow.
And killed at the 1. Wow. What a great punt for St. Augustine. By Miguel Whitley pins the Cavaliers back at their own 1-yard line with 3:48 to play in the half. In the soup, so to speak, Cavaliers get it back with a tenuous 3-0 lead.
All right, Ken, so what is your first and inches on your goal line play here?
Get under center and run a sneak, but they don't do it.
No, and you're not. What is it? The tush push.
Tush push. Get me out to the 3-yard line, okay?
Anything, because this, especially, they're going to put 90 right over the nose, I would imagine.
You would think.
And they're going to come right after him. But if you're Arsenault, roll one way or the other and see if you can, like you've said, Ken, use that to your advantage right
Well, they're in shotgun, and they're pressing the line of scrimmage, and look out here. On first down, Arsenault takes the snap, gives it off. He's hit immediately. Did he get out of the end zone? Barely. Banks just got out of the end zone. It'll be no gain officially. I think he lost a half yard.
He did. He got stood up right at the line of scrimmage and maybe fell forward. That's the only reason why that wasn't a safety.
I just don't see the rationale to be able to line up shotgun when you know that they're going to be pressing a line of scrimmage and coming right through the A-gap.
It is crazy to me that it's not even in the offensive arsenal for a lot of teams in high school these days. They just don't do it. And especially right here, you're risking if a bad snap, it's a safety over his head.
But even with the shotgun snap, the penetration.
Right.
2nd down and 10 inside the 1. And St. Aug jumped. There you go, the hard count, and it paid off. That'll get him some breathing room. 5 yards on the Purple Knights.
Well, and that's by design, I think, right there. And they haven't really done that all night. And you did it at a perfect time, and it worked perfectly. So now that opens up your playbook a little bit. You're 2nd and manageable as opposed to 1st or 2nd and long. And but you still got a lot of work to do here as the clock ticks around 3 minutes.
2nd down from the 6 and 5 yards to go. Motion across the formation. Going to run it inside a little bit of a hole for a couple of yards and fighting forward and falling forward to about the 10, maybe the 11, close to the first down.
Very clear. They're going to give it to him. And they're going to
say first down.
So I think
that's Banks.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see if St. Aug starts to call timeouts here because they have 3. De La Salle has 2. We're at 2 minutes. I think right here, if you're Coach Jarrett, you might want to run the ball 3 times and take the lead into halftime, and you get the ball to start the second half. But St. Aug electing right now, so far, not to call a timeout.
So it'll be 1st down and 10 from the 11. And Cavaliers content to let it run.
Yeah, snap this ball around 2 minutes and run it. Make, if anything else, make St. Aug use their timeouts here.
Banks the running back. Up back slotted right. Twin receivers right, single left. St. Aug's not buying that. They're pressing the line of scrimmage looking for the run, and they figure they're going to throw it outside. Drop. Incomplete.
It's a forward pass, so it's not a fumble.
Nope. Browns couldn't handle it.
Yeah, and that's a catchable ball, and I do like the play call because it's safe. You're not throwing it downfield, and you've had success. But the problem is,
you stop the clock.
Yeah, you stop the clock. So
got to catch the football.
Right, you got to catch the football, and you got to stay in bounds right there. So now you're 2nd down, and you got 2 plays to. Look, if you pick up a first down, nothing lost here, but you didn't gain any yards, so it's even harder.
St. Aug still has its 2 timeouts as well. 2nd and 10 at the 11. Banks the running back now. Double slot left. Going to run power on a cutback right across the 10, fighting through a tackle, fighting through another tackle, and through another, and a first down.
There's your
What a great run by Banks. He ran through 3 tackles for 14 yards and a first down to the 25.
And as I look at that run play, you look how St. Aug stacks the inside interior of that line, and you just see Banks come out of it. I mean, arm tackles or not, he's still strong enough to fight through that first level to get into the second one. Now, St. Aug not calling a timeout. You're inside of 1:40, and I don't know. This is interesting to me because
I'd still take my time.
I would too. And
if you break something, then you try.
But the play clock right now at 15. I'd tell Arsenault, don't. Yeah, he
snap it early, and he wants to throw, and he's under pressure.
It's a face mask,
and he's going to get ripped down in a face mask penalty. A sack for St. Aug by Warren Roberts Jr., but looked like he got the face mask.
I don't love dropping back
Me either.
there. I hate it, in fact. But be honest. But no, but that's disciplinary play right there where he just went high. He was going. I don't think that St. Aug defender was going for his face mask. I think he was going to block the ball because Arsenault was going to throw it, and his hand just got caught up high and his face mask. But that goes the advantage of De La Salle. It's 15 yards and automatic first down. So, but 1:21. St. Aug 3 timeouts. De La Salle 2. You got to run it.
So a loss of 9, and then the 15-yard penalty.
And looks like they're blowing the whistle, but that's just to reset the sticks. I think because they gave him the yardage, but they didn't set the marker. Yeah.
So the 3rd penalty and 35 yards on St. Aug gives De La Salle the ball. They replay first down. It's 1st and 5. After the penalty from the 31-yard line with 1:21 to play in the half.
And the penalty stops the clock, but the play clock, and they just started.
They just started it, but De La Salle's lined up to run a play.
Starts, yeah.
And they're going to keep running inside left and maybe gain a yard and then hit really hard and stop cold there. Is Pounds, and Jakeem Stewart is there again.
Okay, and now St. Aug's going to call a timeout.
Yes.
Okay, so, all right, well, it's 2nd down now, and you're
3 yards
ago. Yeah, so because of the penalty, so it's very manageable. I don't know. Do you take a shot at some point on this drive? I don't know if you risk that if you're De La Salle, but you've had some success running the football. I mean, Banks with that, he broke one on this drive, but you're still got a ways to go. In fact, you get the ball to start the second half. So if you're De La Salle, if you can just get out of this half winning up 3-0, that's a big plus.
And De La Salle gets the second half kickoff.
Yeah.
2nd and 3 when play resumes from the 33. An injured St. Aug player on the play, unable to put any weight on his right leg. Boy, that's really a bad sight. Ty Dominique, the senior defensive end at 6'2", 225. He's not able to put his right foot down at all. Boy, you hate seeing that.
No, and I didn't see how it happened, but that's whether it's friendly fire because that was a design run play and De La Salle's trying to run clock right there, but he's been a big part of that defensive line, and as a senior you hope that's not how it ends for him, but hey, like you say, Kenny's not putting much pressure any at all on that right leg.
No, we'll hope that it's not serious. Obviously, we'd love to see him back in the game, but if not, just hope it's not serious for Dominique. 2nd down and 3 yards to go at the 33-yard line with 1:05 to play in the half. 3-0 De La Salle on top. Motion into the formation. Fake it, wants to throw it. Screen coming, look out, incomplete. Boy, I mean, Cornell Harris was there. Pass was intended for Banks, and it stops the clock.
Yeah.
With 1:01 to play.
I don't know. I mean, now it's 3rd down, and it's almost. It feels like to me that play does pick up the 1st down if it's not disrupted, but it's a risky pass right there because if Cornell tips it up to himself, he's going to pick it. I mean,
and 2 incomplete passes have stopped the clock on this possession.
Right.
So there's still 1:01 to play in the half.
And even if you run it right here, St. Aug can stop the clock again.
Yes.
And they
have one timeout.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So it's 3rd down from the 33 and 3 yards to go. Make the 1st down, you can run it out. They're going to run it inside and looks to be a yard short.
He's right on. Well,
it's going to be, I just think a half yard short. But
they're going to give it to him.
Boy, I mean, if they gives him, that's fantastic for De La Salle, and it is. Wow. So they give it to Banks and say 1st down. Give it to him. They already moved the chains.
So what I talked about a little while ago, Ken, was do you take a shot? I mean, I think they're selling out right now against the run. Do you try to go deep to Fortenberry, or I don't know? Now that they only have both clocks ticking now under 40 seconds.
Yeah, I think they're going to run it out here. Going to run it left and make a yard or so, and that should expire the clock, barring a timeout here. So just content to get to the locker room here are the Cavaliers as
it's the right move.
They simply ran it there. I'm trying to see the number. Just so hard to spot. Is that 9 or 8?
That was Banks on the run.
It was Banks. It's hard to tell.
That 4 looks like a 9, Ken.
That's just hard to tell, man. All right, so Banks got a yard. The half arrives with De La Salle leading St. Augustine by the score of 3-0. We'll take a 1-minute break here, and then we'll be back with our halftime festivities in a moment. This is De La Salle football on Nash Icon 106.1 FM and on CrescentCitySports.com. Ken Trahan along with Jonah Keller. Chip Merritt, Matt Merritt producing for Crescent City Sports. Rudy Dixon for Chi-Con 106.1 FM. It's been a fast, defensive first half. Not many yards to be had in this half. You go back and look at the first half of play. 3 and out, 3 and out. Punt, 3 and out, 3 and out. De La Salle with a long... St. Augustine unable to generate anything, and De La Salle runs out the clock. That's your first half. Bam, like that. It's over. I mean, that's pretty much it. That's all we're talking about right now.
No, that's what I told you. Ken, I looked at my watch just to see kind of like what time it was. I'm like, wow, it's 7:30 and it's 6 minutes left in the half. So the clock has just moved really quickly in this game, which means there's a lot of running plays and, staying in bounds, completed passes, not a lot of penalties, not a lot of injuries. Really a pretty well-played game as far as that's concerned. But, for De La Salle, one of the things that I really like that they've done is stick with the run. As bad as it was on the first 3 drives, that they were losing yardage, you found a little something there towards the end. In fact, even on that last drive where you started from the 1-inch line and you almost felt like, if you don't get out of that, you're going to give St. Aug 2 points in the ball back, whereas, they were able to run it. And credit Banks, because he's breaking arm tackles at the line of scrimmage, a very good, St. Aug defensive front, and he's able to pick up positive yards. So that's kind of been a key to this first half, is that De La Salle has been able to sustain drives, run the clock, get points when they got down inside the red zone, and they've been able to keep St. Aug out of their red zone.
Cavaliers drove 11 plays, 69 yards, taking 6 minutes and 56 seconds off the clock. And Connor Butler kicked a 29-yard field goal at the 7:06 mark of the second quarter, and that has been all of the scoring. That drive featured a 14-yard run by Banks and a 13-yard pass from Arsenault to Pounds to help get the Cavaliers in position for the field goal. Also the penalty against St. Augustine for a personal foul helped. Of course, Arsenault hit Bieniemy for 22 yards on that drive as well. So they had the one drive with positive play, starting to find a little bit of something. Defensively, the Cavaliers are good. I got to believe, and I'm not sure what to expect, but with Dawson Simmons at quarterback, they can use the whole field. He can throw the ball and really open the field up for St. Augustine.
Well, they've taken some shots, and they've had success. They've run that slant on the top where, he just kind of buries himself right there in the soft zone of De La Salle, and there's been a couple of drops. But, you're expecting that St. Aug will go back to that more in the second half, as they haven't really had a whole lot of success running the ball. But, St. Aug's proven if you can give him time to throw it and set his feet, he's going to throw a dart downfield, and it's just a matter of time before they hit that big gain. But if you're De La Salle, you got to play somewhat conservative too with that lead and your ability to stop the run, where, you play your safety back, give him, maybe a short 10, 15-yard pass, but you don't give him the big one. But De La Salle hasn't done really that much of that either. In fact, I was expecting maybe to De La Salle a shot play at some point, maybe going up top to Fortenberry or trying to get Bieniemy in space in a play, but they haven't really done it. So it's really just been almost offensively like a mirror image of each other, where they're kind of just, okay with playing the conservative style of offense, where they're just taking the little chunk plays on offense and just moving the sticks in that way. But, Ken, I wanted to bring this up. I'm looking at, some of these numbers for Jesuit, for St. Aug, but the Jesuit game that St. Aug lost 13-6, it was a similar type of game, but De La Salle really hasn't played a game like this all year, being a 3-0 advantage at half. So, this is week 9. I think, De La Salle's obviously been battle tested. They've gotten beat up pretty good at times, but then they've lost some close games, and they've had a big win in district. But this is an unfamiliar spot, I think, for De La Salle, having a 3-0 advantage. Your defense is playing outstanding. If your offense can just figure out a way to get in the end zone here in the second half, you'd feel a whole lot better about it. And if you're St. Aug, look, you've been in this situation. You've had some really close, losses, and you've had opportunities, but I think, no turnovers so far, if I'm right on that. I don't.
No turnovers by the team.
So they've both played a clean football game in that aspect. So, if you're De La Salle, you're not asking Arsenault to do too much here. You've given him a lot of short, intermediate passes where you're trying to just get your guys the football ball and then make them make a play after the catch. And if you're St. Aug, I mean, you're trying to get the chunk play downfield, and they've had success, but they've also had some drops. So it'll be interesting to see. De La Salle gets the ball to start the second half. They might get their best field position of the night, because it seems to me, that's been the hardest part for De La Salle, is getting out of the shadow of their old goalpost. So, and St. Aug obviously hasn't kicked the ball, so we'll get to see, St. Aug, what kind of kicker they have, if they can put it deep. If not, does De La Salle, find themselves first and 10 from, let's say, the 30, as opposed to inside the 10, where it seems like that they've lived all night.
Yeah, very much so. And look, I think that we always talk about the first possession being important. I think it's important because De La Salle has a chance to make some first downs, possess the football, shorten the game. They've done a good job of that to this point. Limit the at-bats for St. Augustine. Purple Knights have gotten into no rhythm thus far. And when we tell you about the official numbers, you'll understand completely when we get into that here later in the halftime. So, again, at halftime, 3-0, the Cavaliers leading the Purple Knights. We'll take a time out here. Back with more of our halftime show in just a moment. This is De La Salle football on National Icon 106.1 FM and at CrescentCitySports.com. Three 0 De La Salle at halftime, leading St. Augustine along with Jonah Keller. I'm Ken Trahan from Ted Gormley Stadium. Cavalier Band now performing at halftime after the St. Augustine Marching 100 did the same a few moments ago. All right, so these are important times at De La Salle High School, Jonah, and you're intimately involved with everything at the school. So talk about what's coming up. You got a Hall of Fame induction this week. You got open house on the 7th. Let everybody know about what's transpiring.
Yeah, big week at De La Salle. A Hall of Fame induction on, I think it's Wednesday, and then the Tuesday open house. So, yeah, big things going on the Avenue. And the open house is from 4 to 7, obviously open to any grammar school students in the area. And I always say, go see them all. I mean, they do a really good job. All our high schools do of showcasing the best that they have to offer. And De La Salle, obviously, does a great job as well. So we look forward to seeing all the girls and boys in the grammar school area to come by and check out De La Salle this Tuesday from 4 to 7.
Outstanding opportunity, and I couldn't agree more. Not only is it 5300 a great stop and a great place to attend school and co-ed, outstanding education, but I think it's a great opportunity that all the parochial schools provide for the open houses, the spend a days, and we tell everybody that regardless of what school we're doing games for, check them out. You can't make a bad choice. De La Salle's the right fit, but you can't make a bad choice. There's a lot of good opportunities, and look, as I mentioned earlier, I wanted to promote the fact that St. Augustine has open house coming up on November 7th, and so there's that opportunity in the evening on November 7th on AP Turo Avenue to check out St. Augustine High School as well. We really encourage people to do so. Again, man, I think about it. It's one of the best things, I think, and I say this with all due respect, there's some fantastic schools, Patrick Taylor, Haynes Academy, Thomas Jefferson, Ben Franklin, Willow School. I can name a bunch that are really good schools on the public school side of this community. Really good private schools like Notre Dame, Newman, St. Martin's, and such. But the Catholic school education in this metropolitan area is second to none. It provides tremendous academic, social, spiritual formation and the opportunity to succeed in life. And, man, I can name them all, even out to LaPlace, to St. Charles Catholic, a great school. I'm talking about the ones that have the boys on their side, but Archbishop Shaw, Archbishop Rummel, Jesuit, Brother Martin, St. Augustine, De La Salle, of course. And, I mean, they're just fantastic institutions.
Couldn't agree more.
And, again, we encourage people to check them all out. All right, Hall of Fame. It's a big week as well for De La Salle regarding its Athletic Hall of Fame.
It is. And look, there's three very worthy individuals this year getting in. And Graham Jarrett is an actual Hall of Famer for De La Salle. And you know, as obviously head football coach, but he's done a great job. And this will be a huge opportunity, you know, for these three individuals to be inducted this week as well. So we look forward to that, and should be a nice crowd in attendance for them, and three very worthy individuals.
Yeah, it is. Look, it doesn't get much better than that. It's really good for De La Salle, and obviously we appreciate everything that's being done there. That Maroon Jacket special, I know a little bit about that personally, experiencing it, and it's just a wonderful situation, so we encourage people to check it out. And of course, you know, when you have the opportunity, we encourage everybody to make sure that you go to DeLaSalleNola.com. That's DeLaSalleNola.com, which is the website for De La Salle High School, where you can obtain all the information you could ever want about De La Salle. Every program, every club that exists, athletics, everything imaginable that exists there. So we encourage you to do so. And I know the individuals you want to talk about
I
that too.
apologize. I was trying to find it. So this year it's Tony Benora who made it in this year, and he outstanding athlete and coach and athletic director with a lot of success. Michael Cobb, class 1982.
A dear friend of mine, as is Tony.
Yep. And LSU,
Mike was a wonderful man. Played at LSU. Yep. We lost him just about 2 years ago now. Very close friends with his wife too, and our children went to school together.
And a lot of his accolades, I could go on and on about them, but Orange Bowl and Sugar Bowl, Liberty Bowl, he played in several bowls. He also ran track and field at De La Salle. And Gordon Stewart, class 1977. He was an outstanding wrestler, a state champion in the 132-pound class. Also 1996, he was a South tournament champion. But yeah, just three outstanding individuals that are obviously very worthy. And that event, like I said, it's one that I've been a part of a few times. In fact, I was the person who introduced Coach Jarrett as a fellow football player with him, and that was one of the highlights of my De La Salle career. Was I'm not a Hall of Famer, but it was a true honor to have the ability to present Graham. So that's this Wednesday, November the 1st, 6:30 to 8:30 at De La Salle.
We also want to mention that the Cavaliers return to district play this coming Thursday night. It's a very short week to take on the Lions of Booker T. Washington at 7 p.m. at Pan American Stadium. That will be another broadcast on Nash Icon 106.1 FM. Jonah will be back. I won't be here because I've got to MC a major function that night, which was an 8-month commitment. Jude Young will be here to pinch in and work with Jonah. He'll do a great job Thursday night at Pan American Stadium with the regular season finale.
And that's a wrap. That's great. It's week 10. It's over. I mean, that's just how fast high school can fly by. And then the selection show would be Sunday, and that'll be interesting for both of these schools. Like you said, I didn't realize that St. Aug wasn't a shoe-in for the playoffs, and this obviously would be a big feather in their cap for if they could win, and obviously for De La Salle too. So I think that the way that the playoffs are, I know there was a a big vote earlier in the season to kind of do some things moving forward. I know there was a lot of positive that came out of that meeting in Baton Rouge. And for De La Salle, I mean, look, there's the monsters of St. Thomas More and Lafayette Christian, which, I would think if you're De La Salle, you wouldn't want to play them until you got to the Superdome. Well, they won't have that this year. They're going to have to play somebody, one or the two of them, probably in the quarterfinals on the road in Lafayette. So that'll be tough. And if you're St. Aug, depending on where you fall, you're going to be up there. I guess Carr would be a top seed. Two.
They're second seed right now.
So
Captain Shreve would be number one in Division
so
1.
If you're St. Aug, you might have to play one of them. But look, I mean, you proved earlier this season that you kind of went, you went toe-to-toe with Carr for 3.5 quarters, really. I mean, it was only the end of that fourth quarter where they got beat up a little bit. But this has been an incredible football season. I got to say, I enjoy watching the highlights, watching Newman's run, watching, St. Martin's,
St. Charles Catholic, Destrehan.
Yeah, they've got
undefeated football teams who are terrific.
Yeah, Zachary, Destrehan, like you said. But no, it's been a great season, and it's week 9. This is the end of week 9, and 1 week left.
And as we get to break, a hearty congratulations from us. Of course, I've already done it on radio last night and today, but also from
Coach Curtis.
the De La Salle family to JT Curtis of John Curtis Christian. It's just remarkable to tie the all-time record in the history of the United States for victories by a prep coach. 621 goes for the record against Carr. That will be tough on Friday, but playoffs still to come too, and nothing but congratulations, hearty congratulations from the De La Salle family to JT Curtis and John Curtis Christian. Halftime here, 3-0 Cavaliers on top. Back with first half numbers and the start of the second half in a moment. This is De La Salle football on Nash.com 106.1 FM and at CrescentCitySports.com. Both teams getting ready for the start of the second half. Let's look at the first half numbers in this one. First downs, De La Salle 7, St. Augustine 3. Sacks 1 for De La Salle and 1 for St. Augustine. Penalties 3 for St. Aug for 35 yards, 3 for De La Salle for 22 yards. No turnovers. Rushing yards, St. Augustine 21, De La Salle 25. Passing yards, St. Augustine 19, De La Salle 61. Total yards, 86 for the Cavaliers, 40 for the Purple Knights. This sounds like a game out of the 60s or 70s, doesn't it?
I mean, just smash mouth football. Line them up, set them up, knock them down. But, I mean,
somebody's going to make a big play.
Somebody's going to make a big play, or somebody's going to make a big mistake. And that's what I think if you're De La Salle, unfortunately, throughout this season, there's been some bad snaps, special teams bad snaps. Also, center exchange has been a problem. So
and we haven't seen that tonight.
Have not seen that tonight. I think that's something that De La Salle's really worked on. Right. Ken knocks on wood. And look, I feel like if you can play continue to play clean, as we just said, 6 penalties, 3 on each side, about the same amount of rushing yards, but you got to keep the defense honest. And I think if you're De La Salle, it seems like you would have more rushing yards, but you got stopped behind the line of scrimmage so many times that you negated a lot of that. So either way, though, like I said, it'll be interesting to see because De La Salle hasn't fielded a kickoff yet in this game. So if they can get the ball in decent field position and start a drive from, like, let's say the 30, that's 20 yards better than you've started all night.
Well, you've got to give a big shout out to the Cavalier defense. St. Augustine had 2 first quarter possessions where they started at the De La Salle 39-yard line.
Yeah.
2 of them, and they did nothing.
Right. Well, one of them they got a snap over their head and shot themselves in the foot. But credit De La Salle because they didn't give up anything big or anything deep, and they both. De La Salle looks pretty fired up to take this second half kickoff, and I would love to see positive yards on this and play safe, play conservative a little bit here, but at the same time the way this game is gone, it just protect the football.
Montez Randall and Eamon Williams will drop deep for De La Salle. They're not expecting a deep kickoff. Cameron McCall is going to be kicking it off for the Purple Knights to start the second half with De La Salle leading St. Augustine 3-0 here under a full moon on a fully lit night at Ted Gormley Stadium in City Park. Ken Trahan along with Jonah Keller, Chip and Matt Merritt, and Rudy Dixon along for the ride. And we thank them for their outstanding service, as always, to help us sound good, make this look good.
And speaking of sounding good, I don't think it gets much better than St. Aug's band.
They're tremendous.
They're a perfect backdrop and sound effects for high school football in New Orleans.
Ready to go with the second half. McCall to kick it off. Cavaliers are expecting a short kick. And it is a short kick. Had it gauged perfectly. Montez Randall at the 20, 25, cut back 30, 35, 40, and there you go. 40-yard line, great field position for the Cavaliers. That is scouting the opponent. They were lined up perfectly, expecting that kick to come down at the 15 or 20. It's exactly where he got it, and he got it on the run.
And that's what you want right there for your De La Salle, is because if nothing else, I don't want, obviously you want to pick up first downs and move the change, but if you don't right here, you still feel like you could flip the field if you don't. But nonetheless, best field position of the night, 40-yard line, and now see what you can do here to pick up positive yards and move the sticks.
From the De La Salle 40, the Cavaliers operate with Evan Arsenault, the quarterback. Banks in the backfield with him. Motion into the formation. Bieniemy gets it on a speed sweep. Bieniemy to the edge. Turned it at the 45, and he gets up near midfield. Good start for the Cavaliers. As Jace Bieniemy gets close to the first down. We'll see where they mark it. They're going to say 10 yards and a first down.
And that's a play that they've tried to run now a few times, where they're just trying to get Bieniemy in space, get him to the outside, and let his speed take over. And he did a good job right there picking up the first down. And now you're right at midfield.
You can prevent the penetration. You can get the edge. 1st and 10 at midfield. First possession of the second half. Cavaliers up 3-0. Going to run it inside left. Banks plunges forward for about a yard to the St. Augustine 49-yard line.
Yeah, I'm trying to watch how De La Salle does this offensively with the play clock and kind of seeing how they run it down. And this is something that Ryan Manali did when he was at De La Salle, where you use that play clock to your advantage, no matter what, because you want to sustain as much as the drive as you can and wear as much of the defense down as you can for as long as you can. So you snap that football inside 5 seconds at all costs.
And they had good offensive lines and great running backs during Coach Manali's tenure.
Exactly how to use it.
Exactly. 2nd and 9 at the 49. Snap it, run it inside right, and a hit for a loss. Penetration, and there's Stewart again. Boy, this big guy. He's in the backfield again, and he stops Banks for a loss to the De La Salle 49, a loss of 2.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time before we call his number, and he comes up to play right there, and I can't really tell because he's in the interior of the line whether he's going swim or he's going spin.
I think he slanted there.
Yeah, well, he's so quick off the ball that I think if you don't get a hand on him, at least to slow him down, he's going to be in the backfield immediately.
3rd and 11 at the De La Salle 49. Arsenault, likely passing situation, retreats to throw, looking for a screen, throws it behind the receiver, and incomplete. And that'll force a punt. Pass didn't lead the receiver. If it did, maybe there's a chance for Malik Jackson to get away from the defender.
Yeah, he threw it a bit behind him, which, obviously that stops the momentum of the receiver, and if he throws it in front of him, I think you pick up positive yards. I don't think he's getting the first down either, Ken, but at least it would have been a positive gain. But either way, if you're the De La Salle punt team right here, you got to cover, and if you can, you got to put him inside the 10-yard line if it's possible.
Fred Lewis to receive the punt. For St. Augustine, good snap. And the punt is away by Connor Matthew. Yeah. And it's fair caught.
And that's what De La Salle probably should have done when they were receiving punts. But because if that ball hits the turf right there, it's going to bounce, and it's going to bounce a good ways. So credit the up back or the receiver, Matthew for coming up and making that catch right there. And it's going to be a 19-yard line. Yep,
19-yard line. 9:48 to play in the third. Purple Knights get it for the first time in the second half, trailing De La Salle 3-0. We look to see who's at quarterback. It is Dawson Simmons. I suspected that would be the case. He just opens up the field. He's also a very good runner.
Yeah, and that's what De La Salle's done a good job of containing him. But if he can get to the outside with his speed, he can get a positive yards.
From the 19, Simmons the snap, wants to throw, didn't like it. He turns it up the field and runs it. Hit hard at the 20. Dropped for a 1-yard gain. And the tackler is slow to rise. Pointed toward the sideline saying, I'm shaken up.
That's Derek Irvin.
That's not good. Irvin's been so good.
No, we've called his number quite a bit, especially in the first half on those first couple of drives where he's coming up from that safety position, crashing down hard, and right there, I don't know if he got a dead leg. He's limping, but he's not. He's putting weight on both of his legs, so he might have just caught a knee to the thigh or something like that. But he might be all right.
Hope so. And he him back on that field. It's a gain of 1 to the 20. It's 2nd and 9.
Or he might be cramping, which for late October, it's warm out there.
It is warm. From the 20-yard line, back to pass. Simmons looks, he throws down the middle, off the hands and incomplete of the intended receiver, LeJean Moore.
Simmons is a cannon.
He does.
That was a dart he just threw right there. And, you hate to say it's too strong. He threw it high, but still, it was the pass was elevated, but I think he had his receiver if he would have thrown it a little bit lower.
3rd and 9 from the 20. They go with 3 receivers right, single left. Again, Washington.
I don't think
Josh Jackson hasn't caught a pass.
And De La Salle doesn't have a sack tonight. This would be a good one to get.
They've had one.
Have one.
Back to pass, Simmons. He looks, he's going to throw to the outside. Caught.
Yep.
Cross the 40 and out to the 41. And another De La Salle player hurt. That's a first down on the catch by Hill. Came out of the backfield. Gains 21 and the Cavaliers hurt.
And that's just a seam right. He just ran it right up the seam there on the hash. And I think that's Troy Williams. And I don't know if he got spun around when that ball was in the air because it looked like he was trying to change his body momentum. And when he did, he might have twisted his knee. And he's in a lot of pain down there. And that's not something you want to see at all if you're De La Salle. Obviously, you never want to see a player go down. But the way he went down, a non-contact injury like that is just something you hate to see right there.
Well, Simmons just opens up the offense for them because of his ability to throw and run the football. They decided they were going to use Goulon, and did it last week and did it tonight. He was ineffective in the first half. They've made the switch now, and he throws a dart here, and they get a big play, and another Cavalier getting up, as you mentioned, and now he's a little slight limp for Troy Williams, but hopefully he'll return.
I think he just got turned around right there. He might have just twisted his body up in a weird way, but it's good to see him walking off under his own power.
And Irvin has not returned yet.
No, he hasn't. And I don't know if that's just a cramp or not, but now you've got two of your starting secondary out of the game for right now.
With a guy that wants to throw it.
Right.
1st and 10 at the 41-yard line of the Purple Knights. Simmons the snap. Going to run it right. Shook a tackle to the corner. 45-50 with speed and a first down on the run for St. August. Leondell Caston. And they get a good running play here.
Yeah, and Tim Maxson had him in the backfield and just couldn't get him down. But credit the running back right there for shaking off that tackle and picking up positive yards for a first down. And now they're in De La Salle territory.
11 yards on the carry for Caston. Back-to-back first downs for the Purple Knights in De La Salle territory now at the 48-yard line. Simmons sets the running back next to him, left of him. Wide side, left side of the field, blitz is on. Simmons retreats. Simmons going to got it down the sideline. Man coverage, and he's got it.
Oh, wow.
And he couldn't catch the ball. Perfect throw by Simmons.
Well,
wow.
I think they're going to call holding on St. Aug, so it wouldn't have counted anyway, but wow, that was a beautiful
what a throw.
pass.
What a throw. Dropped it in there beautifully. And just...
No, it's on De La Salle. I think they call roughing the passer.
No, it's 15 yards.
Yeah, so...
Pass was right on the money to Jackson.
Yeah, right on the money is right. I mean, and De La Salle brought the house right there, and he stood in the middle of that, and I couldn't tell who hit him late. I think that might have been Kedrick Richardson who came off the edge and popped him, but he stood up and made a perfect pass. Just a shame that the receiver couldn't come down with it.
To the Cavalier 33-yard line. Purple Knights on the move with 3 straight first downs with 8:42 to play in the third. De La Salle leading 3-0. 3 receivers left, single right. Simmons the snap. Simmons throws outside.
Wide open.
Wide open, caught. Whitley inside the 15 down to the 11. Well, the switch at quarterback is making all the difference.
A huge difference. And right there, that's the sign of De La Salle's missing 2 of their starting secondary. And what happened there is the safety didn't come over to help in time, and he dropped it right in between the corner and the safety. Now St. Aug goes hurry up.
Right away at the line of scrimmage, at the 11-yard line, and make a first just inside the 1. Snap it, wants to throw it quickly and does. It's caught at the 7 to the 6 to the 5. It's Whitley again. St. Aug now threatening to take the lead as Whitley makes his second consecutive catch.
And Santana Jala does a good job of getting him down, because if he breaks that tackle, he's going to walk into the end zone.
Second down and 4. Option right, tackled at the line of scrimmage is Simmons. Good play defensively.
Yeah, and I've been waiting to call his name. Tim Maxson kind of tackled him up high and wrestled him down, but he comes off the edge right there and blows up the play and able to stop him for a short loss, but it's still... Is it 3rd and goal, or is it...
3rd and 4 from the 5. They can make a first down at the 1. 3rd and 4 at the 5. Shotgun, Simmons surveys. Takes the snap, retreats to throw down the middle, incomplete, and a flag. And 2 flags.
I would say it maybe not, but when 2 referees throw it, that means they saw it from 2 different angles. So obviously, I think he had a hand around his back, which that's a killer right there, because I don't know if he's catching that ball.
Yeah, I don't think he is.
Yeah, I mean, Simmons throws a dart. I mean, that's the way that's a 90-mile-an-hour fastball right over the middle, and then. But, if you're the De La Salle defender, you're almost taught to that you're better off giving up a penalty right there than a touchdown. But either way, it's going to give it, 1st and goal now for St. Aug inside the 3-yard line. Yeah, that's a 3-yard penalty to the 2, and it's 1st and goal at the 2-yard line. Purple Knights knocking on the door to take the lead here. Going to run it inside right to the 1, to the end zone. Stopped right at the goal line. Did not get in. I thought he got in, but he must have got stopped right at the... That was Terrell Franklin with his first carry of the game, and Franklin stopped inside the 1. Yeah, there's I don't even know if you could fit a piece of paper between the football and the goal line right now. 2nd and goal at the 1. Simmons He
drops the snap, picks it up, falls down, loses 2.
Wow. That's the only thing when you get down there like that and they insist on going shotgun is he kind of crept up on that snap where he took it actually under center, and maybe that's why they hate to do it, because that center to quarterback exchange just, are you taking a risk right there? You don't think that you should, but if you haven't done it in the entire game,
that's the issue.
That's the problem, right?
So now it's 3rd down.
Huge
and goal at the 3. 3rd down, not 2nd down.
Timeout.
Why does the sideline marker say 2nd down? This is 3rd down.
Yeah, I don't know. In fact,
they got the penalty for pass interference to the 2. Franklin ran inside the 1 on 1st down.
Got to the
Simmons just muffed 1 on 2nd down. It should be 3rd down.
And the scoreboard shows 1st.
Well, the scoreboard has nothing, but look at the down marker.
No, that's definitely not right.
That is not right. It is 3rd down, and the officials should change that, and they haven't done it.
And I don't know who called the timeout either, because they're giving 3 to both schools still.
I think it's still a Salle, but I don't know that either. And again, the scoreboard operator.
And Coach Jarrett's now talking to one of the officials that it's 3rd down, and they are showing it as the 2nd.
Well, I'm sure that De La Salle knows this, but has anybody noticed the down marker? I keep play-by-play. They've run 2 plays after the pass interference penalty.
And Coach Jarrett now has the white hat over. I'm not sure if he's
3rd down. It's got to be 3rd down here. Yeah, it's 3rd down. So why do they still have 2nd down here? I don't know. It's 3rd down. So I'm not sure why.
No, and scoreboard's not going to check.
No,
this is crazy.
It's got to be 3rd down, regardless of what the down marker says, and nobody's corrected him.
No.
And that's the job of the crew. Don't get it.
I don't get it either.
At the 3-yard line, Simmons with receivers to either side. Hill in the backfield with him. In shotgun. Skinny motion into the formation more. Now he reverses it. And slots, and Simmons on a pitch play left to Hill. Hill to the corner, the 3-2-1 touchdown. So it didn't matter what down it was. Keith Hill on an option play left scores, and the Purple Knights take a 6-3 lead.
Yeah, and De La Salle looked like they had it defended well, but they just couldn't get to the edge. And credit the St. Aug running back for, the speedster, gets to the corner and that end zone and gets in. But that's a great play call right there.
Looks like they're going for 2 here.
They are. And this is huge for De La Salle if you can stop them. And you just call the timeout, on the previous play to get your defense set. And if you can stop them here and hold yourself down to 3, that'd be huge.
Shotgun Simmons, really effective on this possession. Hill in the backfield. Simmons the snap. He retreats to throw under pressure. Evades 1. He looks. He throws across the body. He dives for it. Did he catch it? No. Incomplete.
I've said this now 5 times, and I don't care. Simmons has a cannon. He's running to his right.
And he tried to throw across it. We got to take a break here.
Unbelievable.
So 6:36 to play in the 3rd. 6-3 St. Aug back in a moment with De La Salle football on Nash Icon 106.1 FM and at NashFM1061.com. Kickoff is short, fielded, and down at about the 33. Cavaliers will start at their own 33, trailing for the first time in the game, 6-3, after the Purple Knights went 81 yards in 10 plays, took 3:12 off the clock. Keith Hill, a 3-yard touchdown pass, and Purple Knights have found something by inserting Dawson Simmons at quarterback. It changed everything.
Yeah, Ken. I mean, I'm just watching this kid kind of sit back and unload, and I mean, he's got a cannon for an arm, and he can scramble. He did a really good job right there on the touchdown of reading the option and getting it to his pitch man for the easy touchdown walk-in. But that was a great drive by St. Aug. Did exactly what they wanted to do, is get the ball, drive down the field and put a touchdown on the board.
Give you an explanation on the down. It's academic at this point. Run inside, nothing happening. Maybe the line of scrimmage, but that's all is stacked up immediately on the play.
All right, Ken, educate us. What was it?
Was Banks. So Banks gets to the 32. That's a loss of 1 in a second. And 11 yards to go. So the downs were right. The penalty was not automatic first down on a pass interference. That's it. Not an automatic first down.
Okay.
So it's half the distance. So that's it. The down stayed the same and didn't change.
Got it.
So I'm assuming a first down. It was not. Stand corrected. Academic anyway.
We learn something new every day.
2nd and 11. Fake it. Look to throw it. Back the other sky. Bubble screen. Caught. Evades 1, but short yardage here. Up to about the 37 or 8. Well played defensively by Harris.
Yeah.
Or the Purple Knights, as that catch was made. Again, trying to find a number here, folks. I'm doing the best I can.
That's 14.
There we go. It is 14, Brant Haynes.
Yeah, Brant Haynes. And Arsenault throws that ball about 20 yards, but he only gains a handful because he's throwing it across the field to try to set up that screen play to the wide receiver. But it gets positive yards, just not a chunk play that you want right there. So now you're third and somewhat manageable, but you still you want to move the sticks if you're De La Salle.
Yeah, it's big.
You don't want to turn it right back over.
Now it's 3rd and 6 at the 37-yard line. 5:10 to play in the third. 6-3 St. Augustine. Snap it, retreating to throw. Arsenault looking, stepping up. He's going to get sacked. Sacked to the 34-yard line.
And he took him down.
By the horse collar?
Yeah, because it wasn't his face mask.
Yeah.
He grabbed the top part of his shoulder pads and also got a part of his head. So that might be what they're talking about.
I believe so, and we'll see if they call it or not. Cornell Harris got him. And they are going to mark it off 15 yards. That's big, and that'll get De La Salle first down.
And Arsenault right there is basically taking the sack. I mean, he didn't want to force it down the field, which I think is the smart move right there. But, if you're St. Aug, the way he kind of curled down and went down, I hate that because obviously the defender's not going for his mace man. He just fell right into him right there. So, I mean, that's a huge break for De La Salle.
It is.
Picking up a first down.
Start anew at the 49-yard line with good field position. Motion into the formation off the fake. Throwing to the sideline and incomplete. Really just a little space to work with there. Not much at all. Pass intended for Banks.
Yeah, and Banks is just kind of running a wheel right there, and he's trying to hit him on the outside. And I think if he throws it a little bit lower, he might pick up some positive yards, but I don't think he's going too far. And Banks right now, I think
he's down. He cramped up. You could see it looked like cramps right away.
Yeah, and the St. Aug defenders kind of looked down, that they acknowledged that he was, just cramping. So, and you see this obviously early in the season.
Yeah.
You don't really usually see it in October, but I mean, it's 78 degrees at game time and it's a humid night. So you've had a couple of guys go down. Derek Irvin, maybe your best secondary player, and now maybe your best offensive player for De La Salle, and Jason Banks.
Certainly will impact things if these players cannot return.
Yeah, and 2nd and long right here, you threw it to him on that kind of like that wheel that he ran on the outside, and but for De La Salle, by stopping the 2-point conversion, it makes you feel better. I mean, knowing that a field goal could tie it, and obviously a touchdown. Not only does it put you ahead, by a score, but it puts you ahead by more than a field goal. So
yeah.
it really changes your whole mindset if you're De La Salle right now, and if you're St. Aug, it changes the way you think too.
A couple of positive scores to report. The New Orleans Pelicans are 2-0. They beat the New York Knicks 96-87 this evening at Smoothie King Center. Brandon Ingram 26, Zion Williamson 24. Tulane held off Rice 30-28 earlier today. 6-1 Green Wave now, and continuing to be unbeaten in conference play.
LSU's got a little game next weekend.
Yeah, Tuscaloosa.
Little game, no big deal.
Nah. Small potatoes.
I think they said game day is going to be in Tuscaloosa, which that adds just a little bit of excitement.
Not a surprise.
Yeah. Not a big slate of college football today.
No, it wasn't. Again, Oregon clobbered Utah. You just not many great matchups. All right, here we go. 2nd and 10 at the 49. Snap it, fake it, throw it in the flat, incomplete.
Man.
Well defended. Yeah. St. Aug was there. St. Martin was kind of waiting on it. Incomplete pass to Pounds. It's 3rd down and 10.
But De La Salle wants it so bad. I bet you they've probably run that play. That's probably the 5th or 6th time they've run it tonight, where they're getting the linemen to just go all out, and they're trying to get the enemy right there on a cross. You just can't get to him. But I'm with you, Ken. Even if he catches that ball, it was a defender right on top of him anyway.
So here is a 3rd and 10 at the 49. Fake it. Stepping up, throwing, almost intercepted twice.
Wow.
Hit one defender, hit 2 defenders, and neither one could come up with it. St. Martin touched it, and then also Clinton Hill Jr.
Yeah, it changed the trajectory of the ball once it got tipped, and so he wasn't able to get a clean look at it. But I don't know. He's forcing it right there, and I think if he steps up and throws it deep, I'm not sure if that was Fortenberry or not, but he did have nobody was around him if he goes to the right on the seam there.
Hunter Matthew to punt it away. Frederick Lewis is deep to receive for the Purple Knights.
Matthew's done a good job tonight. He's going to have to do a great job here of trying to pin him deep if he can.
Good snap. Nice high punt. Fair catch called for and taken inside the 14, make it the 15-yard line by Frederick Lewis, and St. Augustine gets it back with 4:22 to play in the 3rd, leading De La Salle 6-3.
And this is one of those games, Ken, if you watch football, that you kind of just see the way it's going, and you feel like, okay, if St. Aug goes down right here and has a 5-6 minute drive and they score a touchdown, that it's over. I hate the way that sounds, because you don't want to ever just throw the towel in, obviously, but you just kind of see this way this game's move. It's just De La Salle has just been unable to sustain a drive, and even the one that they did, they came up short and had to kick a field goal. So right now, you feel like a 2-score game. It would be out of reach.
Irvin is back in the game for the Cavaliers. 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. Simmons engineered a long touchdown drive to start the Purple Knights in this quarter. Motion across the formation left. Simmons will give it off. Running to the edge. Hill, he swims upfield. Hit at the 15, goes forward to about the 18-yard line, and then is driven back. Good, well defended on the perimeter by the Cavaliers.
Yeah, so if you want to know how a kid gets looked at to play Division I college football, look no further than number 9, Tim Maxson, who just ran down a running back. That's an interior defensive lineman who just ran that guy down and made a nice open field tackle right there.
Gain of 2 at 2nd and 8 at the 17 for the Purple Knights, leading De La Salle 6-3. Three receivers right, a single left. Simmons the snap. Simmons retreats, steps up under pressure. He can run with it, and he will, and he's got speed. To the edge, he's going to be hit. Shook a tackle, fights forward, and dives close to the first down. What an effort by Simmons.
Yeah,
he's up to about the 24-yard line, a yard short of the first down.
I thought he might have gotten it because the way that the referee kept inching forward, because he was breaking tackles. But look, De La Salle had him in the backfield, so credit Simmons for escaping the pocket, rolling out, and picking up positive yards.
Gives him a very manageable 3rd and 1. You can't play everybody tight because they spread the formation.
Yep.
Snap it, going to run it inside left, first down. Hill got enough to the 26, 2 yards, move the chains.
Yeah, and if you're De La Salle, you're right now, your offense didn't help you much, and they put you right, and now Irvin's coming off again, he's cramping, but and there's it's a De La Salle defensive lineman who's down. It looks like that's 44 Hall, and that's the linebacker, and he's cramping. I don't, it's crazy.
Don't see it happening on the other side.
Never. I should say never. You just don't. But this was a problem in the Newman game that we covered, or I was there for a few weeks ago.
It's warm, but it's not that hot.
No, it's not.
That's what's kind of puzzling to see this many.
Yeah.
Because we assume that's exactly what this is, just based on the body language.
Yeah, it is, and he's limping off with a slight jog, but I'm watching Irvin on the sideline. He's getting stretched out, and, you saw, earlier Jason Banks go down offensively, so, yeah, it's been kind of back and forth with players going down, but, if you're St. Aug right here, you're sitting pretty 1st and 10. You got to take a little break right there and reset your offense.
So it's 1st and 10 of the 26. Simmons has Hill in the backfield. Takes the snap, wants to throw a quick one. He does to the outside. That's caught. Across the 30 to the 31-yard line. That's Nehemiah Phillip with the catch.
Yeah, and all that Simmons does right there is he sets his feet and throws a strike to the outside and picks up a couple yards right there.
Gain of 5, 2nd and 5. Going to run it inside right. Fighting forward for a yard. That seems to be all for Hill.
That's Tim Maxton again, the big, number 9, the big defensive tackle for De La Salle, who's able to, penetrate the offensive line, get in the backfield, and make a tackle for loss.
It's actually no gain to the 31. It's 3rd down and 5. Big down here.
A huge down. If you're De La Salle, you got to find a way to get your defense off the field and get the ball back to your offense.
Simmons, no doubt, looking for that quick throw. He can use the whole field with his arm. 3rd and 5 at the 31. In shotgun as always. Takes the snap, wants to throw. He's going to go deep. Man coverage sideline, and a pass is caught.
Wow.
What a throw and catch, and it's caught by Phillip inside the De La Salle 35 to the 32-yard line. Big play here. 37 yards and a 1st down.
And he's thrown that ball a couple times. It actually was dropped earlier for a touchdown, but he drops it in this time, and he obviously had enough to keep one foot in. A great pass, great catch.
Phillip with 2 big catches in a row. There's 2 for 42 yards now. Another 1st down. And here's another run left. Well done. Inside the 20 to the 19.
Yeah, and
Hill.
that's a huge positive play right there if you're St. August. You haven't had a whole lot of success running the ball on this drive, but you just picked up 11 right there to pick up another 1st down. As another De La Salle defender comes limping off.
Unreal.
I don't think they ran anybody else on. Are they playing with 10? No, they are. They got 11. Sorry.
Throw deep down the middle. Touchdown. Perfect throw. 19-yard touchdown. And there is the Tulane commit, Josh Jackson, for the score. And the Purple Knights starting to open it up now, lead it by the score 12-3.
Yeah, and it's a great throw by Simmons and a great catch. He kind of just put it where the defender couldn't get to it, and he went up and caught it, and that's a great catch right there. And yeah, I mean, it's a demoralizing drive for De La Salle because, that's what you would want to have done if you're De La Salle on offense. And you flipped it, and De La Salle did it right to you. So, and now they're going for 2 again. So if you can stop them here again, it does help you a little.
Shotgun.
Got it.
Punched it in hard. That is Terrell Franklin, and the Purple Knights extend the lead to 14-3 with 31 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. Game has changed dramatically because of number 1, Dawson Simmons.
Yeah, and I said it at the start of this drive, and I'd love to be completely wrong, but it felt like if St. Aug were to, take up a little time and go down and score a touchdown, it almost feel like it was out of reach. Not only did they do that, but they got the 2-point conversion. So they got their points back, and the way that their defense has been playing and kind of living in the De La Salle backfield, and De La Salle has not showed the ability to bust a big play like St. Aug has, just because Arsenault hasn't had a ton of time to throw it. It kind of feels like this game is more of like 21-3 as opposed to 14, and that's just because of the way that St. Aug's defense has been able to stop De La Salle. But they're going to pop this up. They've done it every kickoff they've had. If De La Salle is now inched up, their receivers are standing at about the 20-21-yard line. So if you can catch this ball on the run and try to give yourself good field position and go down and score a touchdown, touchdown, at least to just feel better about where you are in this game with a quarter to play.
14-3 lead. Short kickoff, fair catch call.
I don't love the fair catch.
Me either. I think you could run that.
I think you run it and pick up at least 5 yards before there's any contact. I guess as an up back, maybe he's not as sure-handed. You feel like if he gets pop tackled, he might lose the football and you give it right back to St. Aug. But nonetheless, it's 5-6 yards you could have picked up right there to help your momentum with the offense. But really, this drive is the game. And if De La Salle can't pick up positive yards and at least get themselves in St. Aug's field, then it might be over.
De La Salle needs something starting at its 30. 31 seconds to play. Flat pass bounced incomplete. That isn't going to get anything done in that situation, so it's going to be second down and 10 with 27 seconds to play in the third quarter. And tonight's coverage on Crescent City Sports brought to you by Gibbs Construction, a leader in the construction industry in Louisiana and the Gulf Coast for more than 45 years. Transforming dreams, visions, and plans into reality. Gibbs Construction. Second and 10 at the 30-yard line. Arsenault the snap, fakes, wants to throw the slant, and it's tipped and almost intercepted. Right at the line of scrimmage, able to get his hands on it, knock it down, and almost pick it off was Caleb Blanco.
Yeah, Caleb Blanco right there. That's the middle linebacker, 6 foot 205. He's a junior. He tipped it to himself twice. Very athletic play. He almost came up with a huge pick, which that would have felt like the nail in the coffin. But either way, it's still third and long here for De La Salle, and you got to see if you can pick up a first down here.
So it's third down and 10 yards to go. At least they punted right back to St. Aug. 22 seconds to play in the third. St. Aug smothering this Cavalier offense at this point. Wants to throw again. Heavy pressure. He's gone down.
Yeah.
Back at the 22, just engulfed with nothing to do, in the Purple Knights dominating on both sides of the ball now. And great job there for St. Augustine by Warren Roberts Jr.
Yeah, and they didn't blitz or anything. They didn't do anything cute right there. They just brought 4 down linemen, were able to get to Arsenault, who's not the most fleet of foot. He's not really known for his ability to escape the pocket and run, but that's the last play.
And that'll be the end of the quarter, so we'll take the break. 14-3 St. Augustine, fourth quarter to come. It's De La Salle football on Nash Icon 106.1 FM and at CrescentCitySports.com.
Station for prep sports year-round. We are 106.1 Nash Icon, WRKN, Picayune, New Orleans.
Fourth quarter begins. Connor Matthew, deep to receive. Fred Lewis, deep to receive. Connor Matthew set to punt it. Snap, punt away. Nice punt. Fair catch called and taken inside the 40 at about the 39 for St. Aug. Well, Dawson Simmons has led 2 long drives for touchdowns here in the second half. He'll get a chance to do it again here, trying to break this game open.
We got a flag on the play. It's going to be on St. Aug. They're just going to move him back. It's not like it's going to give De La Salle any huge... But I guess they're going to call holding there on the line of scrimmage. But I guess if there's an MVP of the game so far for De La Salle, it's Matthew. He's punted well. He's
done a great job.
Done a good job tonight. So I think, though, if De La Salle, you need a break. You need to fumble. You need to pick it up, and you need to run with it. I think that's the only way you're going to get on the board, because St. Aug's defense has just smothered De La Salle the entire second half. And they do move him back, a 10-yard penalty on a hold. So it does flip the field. that's the only real plus side of this. But if you're De La Salle, you got to figure out a way to disrupt the quarterback, get him to throw a pick, get him to fumble, anything.
29-yard line, 11:54 to play. St. Augustine in control, 14-3 with the football. Simmons going to run it with Hill. He shook away from one, from two. Hey, look at this run. He gets 5-6 yards when he should have been tackled in the backfield.
Easily. And he had two guys on his back around the 17-yard line, shook them both and picked up 6 yards. So, yeah, I mean, that's a great job of right there, by basically doing it by himself because...
And another Cavalier down.
Yeah, I think that's Irvin again.
Again, he's just trying to play and he just can't.
Yeah, and I mean, so when you're dehydrated like that, you're doing everything you can to stay loose, and then the second you get on the field and you do a break or you run full speed, it's totally different. But I don't, at this point in the game, if you're De La Salle, is it more of a detriment to put a guy in who's continuously cramping, or do you go with the sophomore, who's, I guess, fresher legs? But
I think you probably have to.
Yeah, you got to. But even with the inexperience of a secondary, I still think that's better off than having a guy who's not 100%.
Coach Jarrett goes out to check him out. Graham does a great job. We were talking on De La Salle night last night on our Regional Prep Football Report about how offensive line coaches make great head coaches, and we cited a whole bunch of examples about that, and I certainly believe that's accurate.
Graham is obviously a good friend, but he's a student of the game, and he's a teacher at heart, so he does a great job of both.
2nd and 4 at the 35. Run Hill, he cuts it outside. Big hole, 40. First down to the 43. Nice vision by Hill to find the hole after it was clogged initially inside. He gains 8, first down, Purple Knights.
And that's just what I was about to say. I mean, his ability to, make one man miss and pick up positive yards, and he does it, it seems like, every other play when he doesn't have much room to go. You think, oh, De La Salle's going to get a stop right here behind the sticks, and he picks up 5-6 yards. So credit him for that.
To the 42 officially, a gain of 7 and a first down. Hill now with 52 yards rushing. Clock ticking at 10:40 to play in the game. 14-3 St. Augustine on top. Option play, keeps it, 45. Dawson Simmons, 50. Man. Dawson Simmons near the first down. Boy, he's fast. I mean, he just has so much ability.
Well, and that's a wrinkle because the last couple times they've run that option play, he's hit the his up back, but that one he kept it, and his ability to just make guys miss and hit the hole is pretty unique, and he's obviously got the arm to match. So yeah, his dual threat ability is really showing right now in the fourth quarter.
He's got 10 yards and a first down to the Cavalier 48. They're just moving it wonderfully, running and throwing. And right now, running it is the ticket because they can run the clock with the lead and an outstanding defense to go along with that. 9:50 to play in the third. In the fourth quarter, I should say. Simmons the snap. Going to run it this time left, and this time bottled up and hit for a loss is Caston.
Yeah, so Caston comes in, and he's a little bit different back than Hill, and he can't make a miss on that one. But that's, if you're De La Salle, that's the first time you've done a good job right there on first down of stopping him. And actually, I think it's a 3 or 4 3-yard loss, maybe
2-yard loss to the 50.
So yeah, you pushed him back a little bit. Now you got to keep him from picking up any more positive yards, and especially not a first down here if you can.
2nd and 12 at midfield. So we hit 9-10 and counting to play in the game. 14-3 is the lead for St. Augustine. Simmons in a passing situation here. Wants to throw it and does quickly, and that's caught with room. 40, 35, and a first down across the 35. That's Josh Jackson getting him involved in the 34, gain of 16, first down.
Yeah, and Hall's the linebacker who's on him right there, and that's a mismatch. And Simmons is smart enough to know that, and he hits him in stride and picks up positive yards on a first down. And now, St. Aug back in business, moving the sticks again.
To the 34-yard line. Moving it smartly once again. The Purple Knights motion across the formation. Back to the ground here. Caston is going to be hit, and he's going to be hit for a loss. Good penetration for De La Salle by Troy Williams initially, and then Kedrick Richardson.
Yeah, that's a host of De La Salle defenders that came in to stop them for a loss right there. And, a play like that where you blow it up quick, they're going to have to start ripping at the football more. And you got to get a turnover right now because the way that this clock's ticking and the way that St. Aug's moving the ball, it feels like, any points on this drive and it could be over. So you're going to have to start seeing some punching, some stripping, anything to try to get that ball loose to get it back for your offense to have any shot at all coming back in this game.
At the 36-yard line with under 8 minutes to play. It's 2nd down and 12. Simmons with the play clock down to 4. Takes the snap. Has all day to throw. He sets and throws down the middle on the money. Incomplete. Big hit. Knocked the ball loose. Intended for Jackson, and a good job by Montez Randall.
Yeah, Montez Randall, the senior safety, comes up and just lays a big hit right there because, look, it's like you said, Ken, he had plenty of time to throw the football, and he threw a good pass, and I just think that was blown up right there by the safety to make the big stop. So, now you're at 3rd and long, and I think if you're St. Aug, if you don't get it, you're going to pin De La Salle. But if you're De La Salle, you can't have a costly penalty here. You just got to get off the field.
3rd down and 12 from the 36-yard line. Trip set right, single receiver left. Simmons taking the snap. Simmons with time. Simmons deep down the middle, wide open touchdown. Whitley, 36 yards. St. Augustine breaks it open.
Yeah, that was beautiful. I mean, that was a total mismatch. There's no safety help over the top, and he just beat his defender, and he dropped it perfectly in for the touchdown. So, I don't know. I mean, finger point all you want at certain things, but that's just a really good, talented, throw and catch right there. I don't think that the De La Salle defenders could have done much. They're faster, and the quarterback just threw a perfect pass.
They will try to kick the extra point this time. Cameron McCall to try that. Snap it, spot it. Kick is up, and it is no good. Time out on the field, 7:32 to play. 20-3, St. Aug on top. It's still Salle football on Nash Icon 106.1 FM and at CrescentCitySports.com. defense to drive the field twice and score.
No, I agree with you on that. I mean, I think that if you're De La Salle and you don't get it, St. Aug, who's to say? I don't know that they would just necessarily run it out. They might pass it because Simmons has showed the ability, to do just that, or to his ability to escape the pocket. Even when you do put him back there, I think he's smart enough to know when to throw it or when to eat it, just to take up the clock. But it looks like De La Salle is going to go potentially to an onside kick right here. So we'll see what he does with the football, because he's putting it on the tee, and he's got the majority of his guy. He's got 4 to his right, and he's got 5 to his left. Yeah. Well,
yep, most of the guys concentrated on the left side.
He's not facing that way. I don't know.
He isn't.
There's the onside
kick. He does kick it that way, but it took a perfect top for St. Aug. An easy one to field, and it was fielded cleanly by Gerard Jackson. So St. Aug will get the ball at about its own 47 with 4:24 to play.
Yeah.
You need a break with a hop there. You didn't get one.
You didn't. I mean, I think he kicked it the right way. He just didn't get that big bounce at the end that you're looking for. But nonetheless, I mean, I think that's what you got to do right there. So, I mean, and look, if you could find a way to pry it loose again, but you're still down, 2 scores, 2 possessions. So, but if you're St. Aug right here, you obviously don't want to give it away either.
No, sir.
So, let's see if Irvin. Yeah, Irvin's back out on the field. That's the safety for De La Salle, who's had his cramp issues tonight, but he's on the field again.
From the 47-yard line. Snap it, run it inside, nothing doing. But still fighting for a yard.
I don't hear a whistle.
I mean, you got to blow the whistle at some point. They give him a yard. So that's the forward progress given here. Keith Hill gets a yard of the 48. And the clock will run. 4:13 and counting.
Yeah, and De La Salle calls a timeout.
They do.
They got a 1 left, and I mean they're trying to get the ball back if they can, and they nice drive before this one, but St. Aug right here. What do you think, Ken? I mean, do they just continue to run it and make De La Salle use timeouts?
I would think so. Yeah. I mean, if you want to try to throw one on 3rd down, if it's short yardage, perhaps, but. Again, I think you've got to make the opponent score twice and eat up as much time as you possibly can.
Right. And look, if you would, what you would definitely not want if you're St. Aug right here would be like a pick 6. If you threw a ball out in the flat and you had a corner come up or a safety come up and catch it on the run and flip it on you, but any kind of pass play right here would have to be a very protected type of pass play, meaning something out in the flat, where there's not going to be a defender on top of them. But if you throw anything in the middle of the field, it's a little risky right here, but Simmons has a cannon, so maybe going up top would be less of a risk than throwing something over the middle.
2nd and 9 at the 48. The scoreboard has shown us nothing all night.
No, I was wondering.
It's very frustrating to see this at these facilities. And going to throw a quick one outside, and it is dropped. And that's what we're talking about. You throw the ball, Jackson dropped it, stops the clock with 4:07 to play, and it's 3rd and 9.
Right. So, De La Salle is now looking at a potential, 3rd down play where you could get the ball right back and without really hardly any time coming off the clock. I mean, you'd still be getting it way back in your territory just because of where St. Aug has the ball.
Well, I think you go after the punt, though.
Yeah,
I think that's what you need to do.
Yeah, just like you did with an onside kick. You jailbreak for the block punt.
Yeah, don't even worry about a return.
Right.
3rd and 9 at the 48 of the Purple Knights. Simmons got a big second half. Going to run it this time. Hill is going to be caught and dropped. Hit for a loss of a yard on the play, maybe.
And Coach Jarrett,
that's Irvin.
And Coach Jarrett takes his last time out.
Yes, he does.
He's got 4:01. And the running back slipped right there.
He did. It was Hill. But Irvin had great penetration.
He did. And all right, Ken, you're going to go after it?
I think you have to go after it.
And even if you put somebody deep, I don't even know if you do.
I don't either. Like I said before, I'm not sure. If you go after it, I'm not sure that you want to do that anyway. You're naked and haven't had much success in that regard. St. August had a ball downed at the 1, and then they had a return man try to pick up a ball at the 1.
You know what we haven't seen tonight, Ken, is the snap over the head.
You haven't seen it.
On either side. That's
Nope.
been De La Salle's Achilles heel all season, and they've actually done a good job tonight. Now, this is something I always talk about whenever we do these games is a long snapper right here. This is a kid. This isn't a college athlete or a professional. This is not as easy as it sometimes looks. And
Nope.
all the pressure right here is really more on the long snapper than the punter, because the punter's just got to catch it. It's now deep into the fourth quarter. If this long snapper is an offensive lineman, it's not the easiest thing in the world is what I'm getting at.
We got Whitley to punt it, and they'll drop Jason Banks to receive it.
Let's see if they bring the corners in to rush at it.
And they have 10 men at the line of scrimmage. 2 are matched up with gunners. Now the other will slide in. They are coming, and
that was
almost
close.
got it. Didn't get it, though.
And they didn't get the punter either. Oh, look at the bounce.
Tremendous bounce inside the 20 and all the way down to about the 18. Again, another really effective punt by Whitley.
And that's Kedrick Richardson is down for De La Salle. I promise you, he leaves it all out on the field.
He laid out there, man.
Yeah, he did. And I probably got the wind knocked out of him. But look, I mean, credit the punter for St. Aug for getting that ball. And not only getting it off, but he got it, punted it high up in the air, got his return team down. That took 12 seconds off the clock right there. So, that's exactly what you want right there if you're St. Aug.
Yes, and make De La Salle drive the field.
And the exchange, it was a good snap and it was a good punt.
3:48 to play. Cavaliers trail 20-10 with the ball at their own 17.
St. Aug not playing any kind of prevent.
And here they come.
Yeah.
A quick throw outside. Caught. But short yardage, maybe a yard. Tackled right away.
And
is Banks.
All right, I'm going to say, Ken, that's probably the 10th time they've run that play. That's just a dump off. It's not a screen because the linemen are not releasing. It might look like a screen because the defensive linemen are coming in so quick, but that's just because of their ability to get to the quarterback.
2nd and 9 after the gain of 1. Arsenault under heavy pressure, evades 1. Looking, throwing deep down the middle. Receiver got grabbed. No call.
No flag?
He's throwing his arms up. I mean, it looked like he got grabbed as the ball was underthrown.
Wow, I don't know. First of all, credit to Arsenault for escaping the pocket.
Yes.
To just give his receiver a chance. But, yeah, it looked like he was pulled from behind, but no flag thrown.
So it's 3rd down and 9 at the 18 with 3:13 to play. And, of course, 4-down situation here. I don't think you're punting on 4th down here.
Definitely not, even though you're backed up pretty far. But if you're De La Salle, you got to protect Arson. You got to give him some time to throw it.
From the 18, Arsenault wants to throw sideline. Did he catch it in bounds? He caught it. Was he in bounds?
Yeah.
He was, and a 1st down.
That's Fortenberry. We haven't called his name much tonight, but he's a sure-handed senior. And, that's Arsenault threw a good pass to got him in between the safety and the corner. And Fortenberry, good enough to catch it and keep a foot in bounds.
18 yards and a 1st down.
Stops the clock.
Does indeed. Fortenberry's 2nd catch of the game. 22 yards. At the 36, back to pass, under pressure, steps up, sack coming. That'll be the 4th sack. That'll run clock, and you can't stop it.
No, and that's a 4-man rush.
And that's Robert's 2nd sack.
Yeah, he's done a good job. We called his name a couple times here in the second half. He did have the sack earlier that was negated by the face mask call. So he's been very disruptive here. But that's our guy, big number 90, Hakeem Stewart, coming off. Can't really tell what he's favoring, but maybe an ankle. I'm not sure, but he's running off. He should be all right.
2nd sack, as mentioned by Roberts, and his 2nd down as a result in 18 yards ago, 2:48 to play in the game. Arsenault wants to throw. He's going to go deep middle of the field, batted away beautifully.
That's good defense.
Well defended by Frederick Lewis. Incomplete, knocked it down at about the 45-yard line. Pass intended for Jackson, that was, Malik Jackson. So it's 3rd down.
Very well defended right there by the corner who just was with him step for step and just got a hand in there right at the time the ball did. That's what you want.
2:44 to play. It's 3rd down and 18 from the 28-yard line. Arsenault looking, looking, going the other way, and it's going to be chipped and intercepted. That'll be a 6-6. This will be a 34-yard pick six. Touchdown, St. Augustine, 34 yards. Clinton Hill Jr. Clinton Hill Jr. scores 34 yards out, and the Purple Knights now lead at 26 to 10.
Yeah, and Arsenault's just trying right there to get it to his receiver. He threw it a little strong and he tipped it. And that earlier in the game there was a couple of tip passes and St. Aug couldn't come up with it. That time they do, and it's the nail in the coffin right there because it's not only an interception but it's a pick six. But I get it. You're nothing but passing right there if you're De La Salle, and if you're a St. Aug defender, you're just kind of sitting back and waiting for that chance, and he was able to get it, haul it in, and get in the end zone.
Cameron McCall will try the extra point. Snap, spot, and the kick blocked. So with 2:33 to play, 26 to 10 St. Augustine, as they've really struggled with their extra point attempts here.
Yeah, that's one thing that, talking about postseason play, Ken, is, I would not want to play a St. Aug, obviously, but, in a game that comes down to an extra point, that is a big deal. And it's something we talk about a lot as special teams in high school football, because if you don't have a kicker that has the ability to, let's say, flip the field or make an extra point, or, it basically means at the end of a game, if you're down by 2, you got to score a touchdown to have any shot at winning because you just don't have the special teams. So that's always something you want to look at, especially going into the postseason and you're playing teams that you're matched up pretty evenly with that could come down to an extra point. So you don't want to have to always, think to go for 2, but if that's something that you don't have the ability to do, then that's what all you're kind of left with. And also, that same kicker hasn't really been able to kick it deep, so, I would imagine his range would be anything inside of like 20 yards or something. But they've been able to overcome that tonight for sure with just the ability of the St. Aug defense in the second half has been outstanding, besides obviously the one drive that De La Salle did have. But I do feel like this game, take away the pick six, it's a little closer than it seemed. Yeah. But St. Aug's a better team.
They are.
And deserve to win this game.
34 yards officially on the return for the score. Kick is short, fielded at the 32, fielded at the 40, bumped out of bounds about the 44 with 2:29 to play. Cavaliers will get the possession again. Tonight's coverage on Crescent City Sports brought to you by the Lamarck Motor Company in Kenner. Lamarck Quick Lane services all makes and models, batteries, tires, oil changes, and more. All done quickly while you enjoy some popcorn. Must be a reason.
Yeah, I think Banks thought he was hit out of bounds in that play. A little extracurricular on the sideline. It's late in the game. It's kind of out of reach, and you kind of see that a little bit. But if you're De La Salle here, I think you're going to throw the ball, obviously, but safe passes. You don't want to make this any worse than it already kind of is.
At the 43 with 2:29 left to play in the game. Cavaliers are out of timeouts. Still a 2-score game for what it's worth. Going to run it inside with room. 45, 50. Should be a first down right on it. On a good run there. For the Cavaliers, that's Pounds.
Yeah, it's kind of like a delayed draw. They haven't really showed much of that tonight, and I think the ability right there is, you get the defensive lineman charging in right there, thinking it's going to be pass, and you kind of just do the delay draw up the middle.
So Pounds gets 10 of the 11 of the 46 of St. Aug. Arsenault wants to throw, steps up, throws across the middle, complete, and out of bounds, about the 35-yard line. And that was number 12, Errol Matthews on the catch.
That's I think the first time we've called his name. But if Arsenault has time, he sets his feet, throws a good pass right there. If you can match it here and try to get yourself in zone, looks a little better, obviously, if you can do that.
Wants to throw again, does. Diving effort, did he catch it? No, incomplete.
Threw it behind Bieniemy, and Bieniemy's, Arsenault's got to throw that ball more towards the sideline so he can catch it and get out of bounds. But I was going to say, Ken, I have not seen Jakeem Stewart come back in the game. Obviously, it's over, but maybe he's at the top right there. But he did come off. the field earlier. No, he is in the game. I take that back. I thought he didn't come back in after he kind of limped off earlier, but it looks like he's fine.
Arsenault
and
is going to go down.
See, he heard me, Ken.
He heard you. There's Stewart with the sack.
Oh, you didn't think I was in the game?
No, 5th sack of the game.
and I just watched him because I just saw him, and he just swam right over the right tackle of the De La Salle. So, yeah, he lines up all over the place. In fact, they stand him up. They put him in 3-point. They push him to the outside. They put him in the interior. And it doesn't matter really where they put him on the line. He's disruptive. And at 6'6", he's obviously a big frame like that. With the speed on the outside, there he goes again.
3rd and 20, running inside. 10, 15-yard run. So good run up the middle on the quick hitter by Pounds. Gets it to the 29, a gain of 16. So it's 4th down at about 4.
And this could potentially be the last play of the game because De La Salle can't stop her under a minute. And it's 4th down.
Well, it would go over on downs.
Well, they would just
stop the clock for that. 4th and 4. Arsenault wants to throw. He's going to throw sideline incomplete.
Yeah, he wanted
receiver got bumped, broke off the route, and the ball will go over on downs to St. Aug, and they'll likely take a knee.
Yeah, and all he's trying to do right there is take a shot play and credit the St. Aug defender. So look, I mean, here you are. It's final would be about 26-10. You lost by a couple touchdowns. It kind of feels worse than that. The pick 6, I guess, at the end was a little. That's not what you want, but you're trying to make something out of nothing, I guess, with that possession. But said it earlier, say it again. St. Aug did what they had to do tonight, and next
Absolutely.
week it's Brother Martin for St. Aug.
That's correct.
I mean, I think they could beat Brother Martin if they play mistake-free, don't turn over the football, and just put Simmons back there, right, Ken? I mean, if you live and die with that guy. I mean, he shows.
He did play the whole game against Rummel, and Rummel beat them.
Yeah.
Game we did. In the victory formation here, just need to take a knee and run this clock out now. 51 seconds left.
And they'll have to snap it
one more time.
Yeah. And I think if you're De La Salle, like I said, you're on a short week. Booker T. Washington Thursday night. It's already Saturday. I mean, you're going to wake up tomorrow morning. It's Sunday. So I think you look at game film. You do what you got to do. I want to say Booker T. lost last night to Riverdale, and you beat Riverdale earlier.
And there's the knee. So that should take care of business here.
Yep.
As the St. Augustine Purple Knights have defeated the De La Salle Cavaliers by the score of 26-10. We'll take a timeout here. We'll be back with our post-game show in a moment. It's De La Salle football on Nash Icon 106.1 FM and at NashFM1061.com. Salle 26-10 here this evening. Ken Trahan with Jonah Keller as we get set to wrap things up here this evening. Dawson Simmons, clearly the MVP, changed the dynamic of this game in dramatic fashion. St. Augustine rushed for 80 yards. But when you look at their passing yards, they threw for 186, and Simmons threw for 175 of those, all in one half, basically. It was 9 of 15, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns, and rushed for 14 yards as well. Cavaliers just had trouble getting anything going. They got sacked 5 times in the game and rushed for 36 yards total, passed for 158 yards in the game. Arsenault was 18 of... Adding this up now, 34. 18 of 34, 158 yards. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Cavaliers dropped to 3-6 with the loss. Purple Knights end a 6-game losing streak and improved to 3-6 with the win. Jonas, some final thoughts about what we saw?
Yeah, it's just a tale of two halves, I guess, because at halftime, De La Salle's up 3-0, and they're going to get the ball back to start the second, and things are looking good. And you know, the way that your defense was able to get St. Aug off the field and kind of contain them a bit and, you know, bend, not break with that whole thing. And then, boom, St. Aug just explodes in the second half with big chunk plays and momentum shifts. And so, yeah, I mean, those are all really hard things to overcome, especially for a team that just doesn't have the ability to match the chunk plays because, you know, they do have some speed, but it was hard for De La Salle tonight to get those guys, you know, in space and separate them and to do what they like to do most, which is hit the enemy on the flat and get him going, and that just never happened. So I don't know. I think that, but I do love the fact that De La Salle plays this game. I mean, earlier in the season when you looked at the schedule and you thought, man, you know, we didn't start off the way we wanted, and we still got to play, you know, Newman and St. Aug, and that's going to be brutal. Well, you played with both of those teams. I know tonight doesn't look like it. I mean, you lost by 16, but you played with them. You had to lead at halftime, and there are certain things that you have to hang your hat on, and you got to look at the positives. You can't just say, oh, we lost and that's the end of it. No, I mean, you got to look at this and say, look at the film, break it down. What did you do well? You got to be able to say that can translate into positive momentum into the postseason. So when you go on the road and let's say you go play at St. Thomas More or you know, Turling's Catholic or Lafayette Christian, be able to hang your hat on the fact that you did show the ability to stop guys. Now, could you do it in 4 quarters? That's a totally different animal, you know, but you can do it in spurts, and that's at least some kind of positive. But if you're St. Aug, I mean, not a whole lot of injuries for them tonight. I don't really remember seeing any of their guys come off the field. Simmons obviously was a huge spark for them offensively. I think that they can match up well against Brother Martin. What Brother Martin's going to want to do is pound the football and eat up the clock and take the ball out of Simmons' hands. So I don't know, Ken, we talked about it. St. Aug's a dangerous team that you would not want to face in the playoffs. And I think with them winning tonight, it obviously does help them. But going forward, you know, both of these teams, I think their records are not indicative of how they play and how successful they've been. It's just unfortunate because De La Salle's record now dropping to 3-6 and St. Aug at 3-6. These aren't 3-6 ball clubs. I mean, I think that they're both a lot better than their records would indicate, and that's because of the brutal schedule that they both face. So, but that's being battle tested, and when you get to the playoffs, you know, you remember these type of nights if you're De La Salle and if you're St. Aug, and the ways that you were able to either overcome, you know, certain things, make adjustments at half times, you know, learn from the mistakes and just make yourself better. And that's what you want to do going into week 10 and the playoffs and beyond.
Without a doubt. And of course, we want to remind you where we will have the broadcast Thursday night on radio, 106.1 FM, of the Cavaliers and Booker T. Washington from Pan American Stadium, 7 o'clock. Jonah will be joined by Jude Young for the call of the game. And I'll miss that one, but, man, hopefully you'll see you in the playoffs.
I wish. You know, look, that's the goal. I mean, if we can somehow do that. But nonetheless, I do enjoy doing this. I love high school football. I love, you know, everything about the Friday night lights or tonight's Saturday night. I mean, but like we just talked about, Cam, we got a cold front coming. We got World Series baseball. The Pels are 2-0. Saints, not so much. But it's a good time of year.
It is indeed. It's been fun, my friend. We appreciate it.
Enjoy it.
All right. Once again, our final score tonight was St. Augustine 26 and De La Salle 10. Want to thank Chip Merritt, Matt Merritt here on site for CrescentCitySports.com. Also want to thank Rudy Dixon in studio for Nash Icon 106.1 FM for their fine work this evening. I'm back with Sports Talk Monday night at 6 p.m. with all access on 106.1 FM. And, of course, we'll have De La Salle Booker T. Washington Thursday night, 6:45 pregame, 7 o'clock play-by-play on Nash Icon 106.1 FM. Until then, for Jonah Keller, for Chip, Matt, and Rudy, Ken Trahan saying thanks for joining us and be a good sport. God bless you one and all. We are rounding third and heading home. So long.